translate, so I'm gonna retype it. Should be the last time I have to,
Oh
Wow.
yeah, I'm also gonna
you
God
know.
update
damn
my
it.
category. I have like a notes template that I use when I just like take notes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I have all the categories and shit.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
same.
I had
And
that, but
I
no.
need to update my names because it's not
Oh,
updated.
the new, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you want to just? Are we live right now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, well, you want to run through the categories or just wait?
Oh, yeah, I'll run through it. Bro, the
Okay.
million
I can
people
use it.
watching right now can wait. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold your horses now.
Oh God.
fine. Okay, so
Run an ad
first
right
one,
now.
what's the theme here? And if you guys have better titles or better, if you have other categories, always be tossing it out. Next is shoot your shot,
Hmm.
quotables, performance review, and then I kind of have like as a subset of that category, who would you recast? It's like a question to ask within it, kind of. And then you keeping up? Am I going too fast?
Ah, shit.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll slow
you're
down.
right.
All right, the highest of highs, like best scenes, best moments. Prop hunt, and you can do like set stuff within prop hunt. I feel like we need to get like a set one though. Also, just kind of like separate it eventually. But I don't have any clever names yet. So, and then nitpicks. Should we get a better name for nitpicks? Or we just
No, I think that's pretty apt.
it is what
I
it
didn't
is.
even have that one in before. I just always talk about my nitpicks whenever.
I'm just always
Yeah,
complaining.
yeah.
And then after nitpicks, we go to clever girl, which is like, what did the movie do right? Your double feature. Could a TikToker watch it?
Wait, was that did we change that one? Wasn't that something else?
We thought about doing
No.
iPad Kids, but then TikTok was saved. So I guess
Gotcha.
just roll.
Oh, is it actually saved?
It's back.
For now.
Damn. All right.
Let the children rejoice. Then sequel, prequel, remake, and then star power. To wrap it up. Those are our categories.
So we don't have Buttermaker or an It's That Guy.
We have Buttermaker as like it's always an option on
Yeah.
the back burner.
It might
and
pop up.
It's that guy. I like it. I don't know. Should we do that one? Should we keep it?
That's like you've seen
Just like, oh,
someone
that
from
one
another
dude.
movie?
Yeah. And just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
okay.
keep mine here.
Okay. I
Whatever.
like it. You can. Those are optional ones. Like we don't always have to do those. All right. Should we talk Sicario first, or should we just kind of talk about what we've been watching recently? What do you guys think?
I'm down for whatever. We kind of already been talking stuff we've been watching.
Yeah,
wanna keep
I
that
got, I
going.
got a lot of. I made a pretty long list because we haven't really talked about what we've been watching in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A minute.
So yeah. Oh, we're just gonna go into that, or you want to do
Let's just do Sicario, and then we can just have fun at the end, right?
endlessly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
No
Like a
time
purpose.
limit on that. Yeah. Okay, so just one Villeneuve movie this week. Feels kind of nice not to do a double. I feel like maybe we should just do one for the next weeks, and except for maybe Dune, right?
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah,
just
that's fine.
one total, or one and then a movie chest?
I mean, we can maybe do a movie chest, but just one Villeneuve movie, just to kind of
Yeah.
savor the last ones.
Totally.
That's fine
Yeah,
with me.
I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because it was nice to kind of just like digest only Sicario. I will say, it's fun to revisit this one.
Yeah, I feel like I thought a little bit in the meantime about why I didn't really like Enemy. And I think it's just because it's like negative and depressing. And it's like basically I feel like the message is like don't let yourself get in the way of yourself achieving what you want to do with your life or what makes you happy. Don't lose sight of what makes you happy. Basically, don't let yourself stop you. And
Yeah.
basically, like, I don't know, I reread The Alchemist recently, and it's basically a similar message, except that is like positive and hopeful, and this is just like negative and depressing. And like, I think that's
Yeah.
why it just like didn't really resonate with me. Because like,
That's
I don't know,
funny.
I like the message. I just
Tonal
like don't
Yeah.
differences.
really want to feel like that to get it, you know?
I want to
Yeah.
feel good.
That's funny. That's like two different perspectives, two different worldviews, and like I don't know if you've read or have started that Stoner book I recommended by John Williams.
No, but I started
That's
the Gunslinger though. That was going to be on my list to talk
nice.
about.
Nice.
So
Good. Well, Stoner's the same way, at least in the little book club that I have. It's like people's worldviews, and it's like Stoner's such like a perfectly like that book is one of my favorite books I've read in a while. And it's like you kind of want to project your ideas and views on into this character. It gives you just enough to where like you can mold it and it can sway either way, depending on. And that's like kind of like what you said. The Alchemist is kind of like you prefer it because it's a happier version. But then there's people like myself, I guess, who is just more like people suck, and I think that they're inherently evil. So it's just kind of like enemies more my vibe in that. And I feel like the Stoner book is like the perfect straight down the middle where you can make it sway either way depending on how you, I guess, view the world. So
hell yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. It is on my list.
yeah,
Yeah. Same.
Maybe I'll put that on hold.
Guys, we need to do a book club.
Because I just
It's
put a ton
insane.
Yeah, we gotta
of
start
I
one
put
up.
like most of the Dark Tower books on hold because like I started the Gunslinger, and I'm just gonna start flying through audiobooks.
oh yeah, yeah. I started the Gunslinger and I read that. Well, we had testing at school and I read it in a day because I had like only 100 pages left, so I just had 7 hours to kill at school. So I was like, fuck it, just read the Gunslinger. So yeah, anyway, sorry to detract us. I just thought that was interesting how the Alchemist is kind of like the happy version of Enemy, or at least the message in it. So
Yeah, or
Yeah.
at least that's like I don't know
Yeah, it's
the
interesting.
pieces of media that I drew conclusions to that I've watched or consumed recently. You know,
yeah,
that basically had like a single message.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it means you're thinking about enemy, dude.
Approaches.
It's
Yeah, I
lingering
guess
with
that's
you.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
What's that
I
say?
don't know.
What's that mean?
Look, I guess I just had a pretty negative tone about it last week. I just wanted to
It's
like,
yeah, not a great experience
you
watching
know.
it. So,
The
but
tone of the movie
made you
steeped
think.
into Joe.
Well, I
Right.
think like honestly, why I thought about it was mainly because I liked this movie. Um, but I feel like this. I read this quote or this really quick review like before we started, and it's basically a lot of style but a weak plot, and I'm just like that kind of makes sense. Like I got drew in, but I feel like plot wise, it really didn't have like a lot going on.
Yeah,
But I still liked it. So I
kind of
feel like it's kind of like
unsatisfying in
the
ways.
opposite of Enemy because I feel like, well, I guess there wasn't a lot of plot shit going on, but there was like a lot of thinking shit going on with Enemy,
Yeah.
and I feel like not a lot of Flash,
Yeah.
and this was kind of the
Spiders here and
opposite.
there.
All Flash, yeah, I kind of feel that. It's interesting. Like if you look at the posters for these two movies too, they're like the same colors and
Style.
kind of the same
Yeah.
style. It's like I
Definitely.
don't know, didn't really branch out far from Enemy for it, I guess. But yeah, pretty different. This movie is written by Taylor Sheridan. You guys know that?
this is. I think this birthed the Sheridan, like
Yeah.
the potential that he was able to unleash. Because I just remember this, and then obviously Hell or High Water, Wind River just coming out like rapid fire bangers after this with Sheridan just pumping them out. And I remember like looking at Taylor Sheridan on IMDb, and I'm like, he looks so familiar, and he plays a police officer on Sons of Anarchy that is like kind of a doofus that you're supposed to hate in the show, and I'm just like, that's that fucking guy. So that's where I was like drawing connections to these, and now he's just like this writer director, and yeah,
This guy also does
Now,
Yellowstone.
dude, he's pumping out 5 shows a year now, man. He's
he
got
does.
he's his own brand now.
Tulsa
Yeah.
King,
Crazy.
1923, Lawman,
He's got them all.
Lawman, Bass Reeves, Lioness, and Landman.
Yep.
Wait, is
Fucking
Landman that one
Landman. John Hamm.
Fucking Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't
That's
watched it.
the latest. The
Yeah.
latest that came out.
Yes, and greatest. I have watched the first 2 seasons of Yellowstone. They're not. It's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
terrible.
yeah?
Are all
It
these?
it goes downhill pretty fast. I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
kind of worried to keep going on. I might just
Dude,
stop.
I think all of these are
I
Paramount
would
Plus shows
personally.
too. Yeah,
What's
all
that?
5 of these are Paramount Plus shows.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got a
He's
fucking
got
deal,
a deal
bro.
with him.
He's got a ranch and shit. He's fucking living it. You know, like good for
Damn,
him.
dude.
I
It makes
I
all the
do.
TV programs.
Do you think though that if he directed this movie, is it a better movie, or do you think that Villeneuve, like, because Taylor
No,
Sheridan in the hands of Villeneuve is like the most iconic director that will probably ever see his work again, because he's writes and directs all of his own stuff now, and it's very singular. Do you think it'd be better with like that singular vision?
no. I think this is like
Eh.
Villeneuve's like the perfect, and I think one scene in this movie is like perfect Villeneuve, and like anybody else directing it, I don't think it could have captured the intensity and like the suspense of that particular scene.
Yeah.
Because if it was Sheridan, based off of what his other things that I've seen directed, he's like super straightforward kind of guy, like kind of meat and potatoes. And
Wait.
Villeneuve is able to let us like marinate a little and like kind of be absorbed in the world, you know. But that's just my take. I could be. What do you think differently, Matt? Do you?
You say it, Joe. I can't hear you.
Yeah, what'd you say, Joe?
You're just like muttering over there.
Sorry. No, I
um,
never.
yeah, go ahead. Oh, I don't know.
I think I know what scene you're talking about, though, Alex, because there was a scene that hit me more this watch through where I was like, damn, this is cinema, you know? But I'm interested to see what scene that is.
Yeah. But
There's a couple of good
there
boys in
are
here.
quite a few. Yeah. I don't know. After watching Yellowstone, I would say the hook of that show is like a lot of people call it like boomer porn. It's like you said, it's really direct, and it's like
Mhm.
right in front of your face, like ham, kind of like very elevated, like drama, almost soapy kind of shit. You
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
And Sicario, not gonna lie, it's kind of flat and it's kind of slow, and like, would it benefit from like ham and cheese and more drama, like juice to 11? It might. I think it might, but I also think like Villeneuve like chiseled it into like a very artful piece in a way that if it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
not his vision, it might be a cheaper movie.
Honestly, I don't know.
I could see that.
Because I guess like
I haven't seen any of Taylor Sheridan's stuff, though, so I don't really know how to compare it. But I could definitely see him elevating some writing that was maybe just kind of mid, you know? Like,
I feel like
Villeneuve.
maybe it started out with
Yeah.
juice and it got chiseled down. Because like the whole point of John Bernthal's character, like I guess, was supposed to like, because he was basically like a dirty FBI agent or some shit.
yeah.
And like she picked him up or basically, I don't know. There was a whole fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
But I guess like I don't know. I feel like that's the only juice in here, and it's really not that juicy. It's kind of just
It's
guess
not that
a little
juicy.
bit of muscle on. Oh, I mean, it's juicy. Don't get me wrong. It's just
It's all
like
about the
there
moral
totally would've
gray
been
of
more
our government and
if
like
this wasn't
what's right
chiseled.
and
All I'm
wrong.
saying is this is chiseled juice here. That's
What
what I'm.
we accept as like what's
Look,
right,
I
what's
didn't mean to
wrong.
set you off.
It's just
You
like
triggered it.
when I watched this the first time, I was right there with you guys and thinking like, oh yeah, this is fine. But like when I watched it the second time, something opened inside me where I'm like, I get it. Like I get why this is considered really fucking good because I think like I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing it with different eyes, older eyes for myself because when I saw it, it was when it came out, so I was a little younger. But I don't know, just something about it where I'm like, maybe I just hate my government more now and like I distrust them now as an adult, and this kind of like layers it in of like should we trust our government? Because sometimes it's like, what is good, what is bad type situation. I don't know. It's just like super. I
honest,
don't think it's flat at all. I think this is a really
I
exciting
feel like
movie to
that's a
watch.
pretty good lead-in into our first category here of what's the theme?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. What you got?
Because to be honest, I like that totally resonated with me too. I got a lot of Training Day vibes actually between like
Mm.
Josh Brolin, however the fuck you say
Yeah.
that guy's
Del
last
Toro
name,
too.
Thanos.
and fucking Emily Blunt's character, because
Yeah.
in like Denzel to Ethan Hawke basically, and like I don't know, they're obviously like doing shady shit. That's the main theme, and it's like to get results basically. But I feel like the end of the movie, it's clear that like there is no change, and it's pretty much an unending cycle based on like
Yeah.
the cop
hmm
dude
Yeah.
is fucking dead, and there's gunfire at the fucking
Soccer
soccer
game.
field. I mean,
Yeah.
Mhm.
as in
Yeah.
that was evidence that like nothing is going to change, and like the things are the same at least. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
guess like, but then there's also like Benicio del Toro's character who's like literally just out to get his revenge, and it's
But
basically like him and the CIA are
yeah,
like mutually like
They're
they use
intentionally
chill.
this
him
thing.
Yeah.
because they need to do shady shit, but they don't want it on their hands. So it's just
Exactly.
like it's
So like they're
amazing.
just using him.
Yes.
Exactly. But like my point is, why are they even doing it? If because they say like they go in there to shake things up so they can get results. But like there's even a line where the FBI dudes go, "Do you think doing things by the book gets results based on the last year of how many people they brought in the book?"
hmm
And it's like, so clearly, like, there's not a change. So, like, why would I be on the side of the people, like, who
Well,
are
maybe
saying,
that's
I
what
guess,
Emily
like, I
Blunt
just
is
don't
like struggling
understand
with
the
the whole movie.
motivation
Right.
of the
Right.
US
Yeah.
side, I guess, in this
Yeah.
situation. Because, like,
Yeah.
it
I
seems
think that's
clear that,
what.
like, they know they're not getting results. And they know that this
Yeah.
isn't working, but they keep doing it.
It's part of the
hmm
machine.
So,
Yeah.
like, I
I
don't
think
know.
that's what drives Emily Blunt's character is like she's in this thing now. She's been recruited, so she's like sort of trying to figure out how it works and why they're doing it. And then by the end of it, it's like,
She's like completely
I mean,
fucked up.
She
Like,
realizes that
yeah, it's
she's
like
only there
this.
because they literally just need one FBI.
Yeah,
just
it's like
sign
you're just
off.
a piece of cog. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and people are out for their individual reasons and all that good
Damn, I
stuff.
love
Yeah.
when the other soldier dude goes up to her and just like, "Don't shoot my fucking guys."
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
The
So
that was good though. Yeah, the theme that I got, and I'll go into it a little bit later with like imagery and whatnot, is the dangers of compartmentalization. I felt like the borders, like in this movie, and like the closing in of like your emotions, obviously, with like Emily Blunt is like keeping like confined, and like especially regarding like your duty as well, and how you like balance those two.
Mhm.
And then obviously it's like compartmentalizing people with like class and borders, and how you think about people across like that line or whatever, and like them and me type of like mentality. So yeah, I kind of found like the dangers of that in this watch, at least specifically too.
So would you say this watch you like it more or less the same?
Probably about the same, honestly. Like, I
Really?
think I might bump it up like half a star in the end, just because it's like a smarter drama than like most you'd watch. But
hmm
like I said, it's just like on a second by second basis, I think the movie could do more to be more interesting, or just like be better paced. And maybe it's like all, like I said, it's flat, and I feel like it's being harshly realistic to you the whole time, and in a way that's like
Yeah.
successful. But in a way, I'm like, I'm here to watch a movie, so let's get to the next, So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fair. I think I liked it a little bit more this watch through because, yeah, something did change. Just like in the beginning scene where they're in the office and they're like discussing which if they want her or they get the
hmm
other guy on their team and stuff. I'm like, this is interesting. Like the usually bureaucracy is like fuck all of this, but something about that like started me off from the races of like, okay, I need to like sit down and
Right. She's got no
digest the
ties.
events
She's got nothing to
happening.
lose. They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody's
Like
expendable, so they need someone
right.
also to be expendable that they're adding to the team, but to be able to sign papers. Yeah, that kind of shit.
Yeah, it like made me think about why the decisions are being made
Yeah.
through Emily Blunt's character's like view.
Yeah.
Try and like follow her thought process more. which I don't think I did in previous watch throughs. So
Yeah,
I
to
think
be
previous
honest,
watch throughs I was just kind of like, yeah, this is flat, and there's some tension and border gunfights and stuff like that, and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
hadn't seen this before. So like at first, I just assumed like Josh Brolin's character was like from a different FBI department. Like it was like specifically like cartel shit. And she was in narcotics, I think. So I
yeah,
thought
like
that she
Yeah.
was just changing to a different department. But then I don't know. I feel like because I feel like I don't know. It just like wasn't clear like who this dude is um,
yeah,
at all.
sure.
So like I didn't even know like that he wasn't like an FBI dude. And then you find out he's basically like CIA or something. But that's
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
that clear.
I think
Uh,
that's on purpose too. Like it's purposely ambiguous, like
yeah,
who some of these people are.
yeah.
I mean, when
Yeah,
she introduces herself to Del Toro, he literally does not introduce himself back. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
when
Yeah,
she shakes his hand, like
he's just like
interesting.
outside smoking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
First time she sees him. I mean,
Yeah.
Cool as
he's a
fuck.
bad. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
liked him a lot.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but
For
you
sure.
know,
Well, any other themes? Should we get into the shots that we like the most?
yeah, I
Yeah,
actually have
sure.
a couple of one.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'd
I
say. I
had
guess.
oh,
No,
you
I
go.
mean, like, I guess would you say out of all of the movies previously, is this like his most intentional, artfully shot movie? Like, it has the most shots that you
Um,
could pick out.
I don't
There's
know.
definitely
I
some
mean,
fucking
I
impactful
guess
imagery in this shit.
yeah. Like I feel like it had a lot that just like drew my eye or that I noted,
Yeah,
but I
right.
don't know like how impactful they actually are because the three that I have like aren't really like. Well, I guess some are good. Like the first one I have is when it pans down to his sandals,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
you're
you
just
see
like,
his
who
flip
the fuck
flops.
is this guy? But it's
Yeah,
like kind of funny. So I feel like that was actually like kind of good, like humorous and cool. I like
Wearing his
how
fuck you flip flops.
yeah, like who
yeah.
the fuck is this guy? I don't know. It's
In
just
my
like so
office.
ambiguous.
Yeah.
But then the next one I had was basically the shot of just like the ground. It's basically like from the plane facing downward, and you can kind of just like see a little plane shadow like going over the desert. I thought that one was cool. It does it again, but I couldn't find a plane shadow the second time. So
What does that mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Shadow's not
But
following you
still,
anymore.
and then the third one was there's like the sunset shot when their like final raid is happening. And it's pretty much like the soldiers and shit like running around,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like their silhouettes because you can't really like
Yeah,
see anything
and it's
about
like
Yeah.
them.
dark blue with
I just
like
thought that was a pretty
color.
cool shot.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
again, none of those are really like that. Well, the sandals one did actually have an effect, but the other two aren't really like beneficial. I feel like they're just kind of cool.
Well, I would argue
Not that
that
I
the
figure
plain one
they're
is
fine.
like, because to me, like that's I have like as far as like my shots go, I respect a lot of the overhead shots that they use in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot like they're aiming down a lot of the time, but they're also doing straight fucking down, and like
Mhm.
to me that's
Yeah.
where like the flatness comes to. It's like it creates like this one-dimensional image almost of like we're
Yeah.
looming over everyone in a cool way.
Like a
But
hot shot.
I mean, yeah,
Well, I guess it would be
Yeah.
2 dimensional.
just like
All right.
one looking one with no like.
Well, you have a plane, I guess, so you're looking down on the plane.
Actually,
Never mind, it doesn't really
I
matter.
think
Well, it's
I
like it
see
would
things
only
in
have
four
like flat
dimensions. So
image though if you're looking at. Anyways, so as far as like the overhead shots, there's a lot of them with like lines. The first shot that stood out to me, when the explosion goes off at the first place, and you see like the village that you're in or the town, and there's like this fence boxing like all the different
Segmented.
houses, and that's what
Yeah.
like compartment. Like I don't know. I just like
Yeah.
really honed in on like she's stuck between the glass walls, and when the flip flop shot, she's between like the news and like business and the job, and it's like she is in the box like. And then like the overhead shots with the lines of the mountains kind of like jutting out into different directions. Emily Blunt hitting her head through a tunnel that's like clearly sending her one direction, like those are the imageries that like popped out to me. But as far as like a visceral shot that I just was like, fuck yeah, that's the shot right there. The binocular shot.
Yes, dude.
They zoom in on the explosion and you see the explosion go off, and then you pan right and you see the cop cars go in the distance.
Yeah, and
I
like
was like,
gunfire flying.
yeah,
and
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
some
cool.
shots.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like that reminded me of Dune. I was like, that's a good sense
Yeah.
of distance, you know, and like
Mhm.
scale from like where you're at.
That's what.
Yeah, 'cause that's what you were saying last week with like
Yeah,
just
Villeneuve.
and just like how he has a good way of like making things seem large
Yeah.
or like big.
Yeah.
That you can see
It-
that you can feel that
yeah, for
whole
sure.
city. You know, it's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool the way he does it. I don't know how he does it. I mean, obviously shooting on site and practically helps a lot, I'm sure, but like
Yeah.
just his sense of scale and positioning of everything is just so like
Yeah.
spot on.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, for sure. Does he use the same cinematographer? Do you guys know? Like, is he like,
I should
or is it
check.
different every?
I think
Because I
he's
wonder.
branched at least to a few, but maybe the last couple
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
used the same.
That's what I was like wondering. How much is the cinematographer? If it's the same guy, or how much is
Deakins
Denis?
Is this guy? Or is the person who's going?
He was on Roger Deakins?
Roger
The Deeks?
Deakins?
He was on
Yeah.
Sicario? Shit.
Roger Deakins, yeah.
He's the man.
Yeah,
He's
man.
like,
He is the man.
He did
He's like the
2049. I know that.
Hmm.
I don't know if he did Dune though.
Wow, he's got a lot of
Yeah.
no, it doesn't look like he's done Dune. But he did do Blade Runner 2049.
He's like
And
the
he did do Prisoner.
biggest name in cinematography, I'd say, honestly.
But that's
for sure.
not that's it for
Hmm.
him.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
He's a lot
Got him at like a nice period. Like it's like interesting to watch Villeneuve movies at this in his time period because he's like still a director for hire in a way, and he's got a fucking Taylor Sheridan script with the Deeks on his set, and he's like bouncing between like greatness in a way, you know, like
The whole Trinity.
Yeah.
There were a lot of apparently. I mean, I don't know who this Roger Deakins is. Apparently, he's a badass. But yeah,
He
there's
works
a
with
lot
the
of
Coens a lot.
What's that?
the Coens.
He works with the Coens a lot.
I think that's kind of where he got to start.
I was looking at his work. There's
Yeah.
a lot of.
Nice.
1917.
I mean,
It's a
No
big one.
Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so
Both
yeah,
those movies.
then he had a fucking crew.
Yeah, man.
Or,
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Or has a crew now.
His boy.
He's made it. All right, we on to quotables.
Sure.
Yeah, mine. I wrote mine in Letterbox, but it's this
The
is a
wolves,
land of
right?
wolves. Yeah, and you're not a wolf.
hmm
It's like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm a
right.
wolf though, right?
Right.
Yeah. Mine is Del Toro saying time to meet God before killing a
Fuck
family.
yeah.
That's pretty.
Fuck
bad.
yeah.
Man, shit.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that was pretty badass.
Killed his family, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah,
I
that
should've
was
wrote
my-
that one down.
That
Yeah.
was my number one, but I'll list a couple of honorable mentions I had here. There's the nothing will make sense to your American ears, and you'll doubt everything that we do, but in the end you'll understand. But in the end, do we honestly understand what was happening? You know, you're asking me how a
Trying to
watch
convince
works.
us.
For now, we'll just keep an eye on the time. I think that's
Absolutely.
pretty good.
That's a
And
good
then
one.
there was like a whole conversation of telling us that Alejandro works for anyone who will basically give him the resources he needs to seek revenge and all that shit. So I just think those are all, I don't know, a lot of good stuff in this
Yeah.
movie. To
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. I really like. I don't have the
Wrote down-
quote. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I wrote down, don't ever point a weapon at me again.
yeah, that was amazing.
Really not that bad. Really, I was just like so surprised that I'm like,
It's
what
a-
the
yeah,
fuck? Did he
it's a
fucking
shock,
shoot
right?
her?
After he fucking
He,
shoots
like,
her.
shoots her, but he
Yeah.
just shoots her in like the vest.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit.
Doesn't fuck around. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
You.
What a turn.
Yeah, badass.
I don't have the
Yeah.
full quote, but I really liked the scene that ends with like Brolin telling Blunt that Benicio del Toro's family was like his kids were
Yeah.
like thrown in acid.
That's that
Just
quote
like-
I just said where he's
Yeah.
like,
That's
Um,
badass.
let me get the exact one. He works for the competition, works for anyone who will point him towards the people that made us, them, anyone who will turn him loose so he can get the person that cut off his wife's head and threw his daughter into a vat of acid. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
That's fucking-
Yeah, that's just like such a period at the
Yeah.
end of that sentence. Like,
Crazy.
Yeah.
all right, performance review. Who the best? Who the best in this movie?
Del Toro?
Yeah, I'd have
Yeah,
to. Or Emily Blunt's pretty good too. Low-key.
Yeah, she is good.
It's between the two of them for me, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like Del Toro
I
is
just
just
like
like such a mysterious character that you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
like always just drawn to him, you know?
Yeah, he's got the interest. He's
But
got
then
like
he's
the
also
sex
just like
appeal
kind
kind
of
of too.
badass.
Yeah.
Right? Like-
Yeah.
I think Blunt is
I like how
basically like
close he gets to the people he's interrogating too. Like just
Yeah.
crowds them out. Just like
Yeah.
only a man who like knows he can handle himself can like manage to pull that off without like
Yeah.
coming on to a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
knows his
putting your
effect
dick
on
on
the
some
other
guy's
person.
shoulder and just being like, "I'm gonna fuck you, silly," and you're gonna do
Yeah.
what I say. You know?
And you're like,
Um,
shit, man. I want to get this
Thanks-
guy away from
thanks
me.
for
You're
balls.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what's happening, but you know what's happening.
I thought Blunt was like just kind of like a vessel for the audience. She's like a sponge. Like she was good, but
For sure.
Funny you should say sponge. There's also a quote where he basically says, "You're a sponge. Take in, learn.
yeah, you're supposed
That's
to
what you're
take
here
it all in
for."
or whatever,
There you
yeah.
go. There you
I
go.
do think that Brolin kind of like low key carries the film though. Like Del Toro's like
Yeah.
the sex appeal. He's like the interest. He's like, oh yeah, what's that guy doing? But then Brolin's there to be like, we gotta go over here, buddy. Come on, let's fucking, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and without him doing all that, it wouldn't have worked either.
Sure.
Definitely, I think he brings the charisma to the movie and gives it like the life it needs to
Yeah.
keep
Very
the
like
pace rolling.
easy going, kind of like to like
Yeah.
lead you there too.
Yeah.
Any
Okay.
recasting though, out of the main three or otherwise?
No, I don't think so.
Really
Huh.
think so. I actually
mean-
put her partner, which like is weird because usually I
Daniel Kaluuya?
really like that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel like he's like so good. I just feel like this might not have been the right role for him. I don't know.
Not much to do for him.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
maybe
fair.
just underutilized. I don't know. I just felt like he was kind of a weird fit for this.
Yeah.
role.
It's also like he was not as
Do that.
big back then, so like you see him in that role and you're like, you kind of expect him to do a little more or something.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
guess that's true.
no, we only want the girl. It's like, well, we know that guy. Like, why isn't he coming too? Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Fucking lords.
personally, I'll say it. I think you could recast Emily Blunt, and this movie might, be the same if not
It'd
better.
probably be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually kind of
True.
agree.
I'll give you a
But
couple
I also
options.
think she did a good job. It's just
It's
like,
fine.
Yeah.
It's just like there's not.
like I feel like she, I don't know, yeah, like could be
No,
interchangeable though. Like she did a good job for the part, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
A
Probably
lot of people could have done it.
do
Exactly.
just-
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're saying she's the vessel is like yeah. Spot on. Like anyone
Yeah.
could have probably filled it.
Right. I'll give you Marion Cotillard, who's Maul from Inception. The chick
Yeah.
from Dark Knight Rises.
Worst death scene
it's
ever.
And then Zoe Saldana. I think that she'd be pretty good in it, honestly, with that role.
Yeah.
Just a little more like
I like so. Yeah.
showy on like I know like Blunt's like literally like fucking depressed the whole movie or whatever, but like
I don't know.
doesn't provide for the viewing
Is
experience.
there singing involved?
Is there-
Is there a
Please,
dance
God, no.
number?
Not again.
Mary
I
Poppins?
could see Zoe. I could see all those. I was
Okay.
gonna say John Bernthal because it's like he's just kind of this dude. Like he
Oh,
could
yeah,
have kind of been,
that's
but I like
true.
John Bernthal too. So
I kind of thought that same thing. I'm like, isn't he like probably too big for like this role?
right. But I was surprised at like his like I don't know the viciousness when he's like choking her out. I was like, man, I didn't
Yeah.
know he could go there. Like that's
Yeah.
was not typical I've seen. So I was like, all right. But either way,
That's fair.
Mhm.
All right. The highest of highs, the holiest of holies. What's the best scene in the movie and otherwise?
I think without question, it's the border scene, right?
yeah, the tunnels into the.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, the crossing, coming back
In the
like
cars.
from Mexico.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually was
that's
just
pretty good,
thinking
too.
like the final tunnel scene, but that was actually really interesting too.
It's so suspenseful because like
Yeah.
they say that it could be anybody. It'll be like specific. If they're gonna get us, they're gonna be at the border. So immediately when we get to the border, they've already set it up to where we're looking at everything. Like who is it gonna be? And then you see the guys, and everyone's being calm. Emily Blunt's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then it's just like illegal fucking gun shootout, and then they just drive off. You
Yeah.
know?
Dude,
So,
and like you don't even know the guy who came up on her. Like you don't even know where the fuck that guy even came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
It's like that's scary. Like,
Just
Yeah.
a regular dude, yeah.
Yeah.
like,
I like the build up to that scene though too, where it's like you're driving around the city
Mhm.
and like picking up the people or whatever and shit,
Yeah.
and like because like you're kind of just like along, and then you like and then shit
and you're
fucking
getting like a
snaps off.
vibe for like how fucked up the place is because
Yeah.
like
Oh,
they
yeah.
hadn't been there yet. So
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and they had
The
just like
bodies
alluded to
hanging.
the fact that they're going to Juarez instead of like El Paso.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. Yeah.
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 You got to
That
see it
scene
and
made
then
me
you feel
wonder-
it.
Like part of that
Yeah.
scene, seeing them use the like federales, like the Mexican police vehicles, was just like another layer too. Where I was like, this is some shady shit.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, some sneaky shit. Yeah.
yeah.
I had the final dinner
15?
scene, honestly. I do like that
I
border
was-
shootout scene, but
That's
I
my
guess I
second
was-
favorite scene. Is the
Yeah.
final dinner scene.
it's like the climax of Del Toro's journey, which if you watch this movie multiple times, I feel like you're there for Del Toro by the end
Yeah.
of it. You know,
sure.
like
Oh
sure.
yeah. But
yeah.
sorry, man.
Yeah,
Like
it's good.
what?
I really love
I remember.
the lighting and like the fact that it's at night. Just the vibe of that scene is amazing too. So that's my fave.
My favorite is the tunnel scene, but leading into that like highway where he's got the cop that we've kind of been following too. Who it feels like they set that cop up to be like he's like the ringleader or something, right? Like he's the guy they're looking for or whatever. Because it's like showing his kid and he likes to play soccer with his kid and all that. So like the tunnel, because cinematography in the tunnel is amazing and it's thrilling, and then into that scene where he's like, I don't know, he just ruthlessly kills this cop who like he could have let go if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah. He did.
that was just
he
like, brutal as
ruthlessly
fuck.
killed that guy.
Yeah,
It's rough, man.
Yeah, he had it coming.
brutal.
Working for the wrong people.
Yeah. And you're right.
apparently.
The vicious cycle continues.
I had
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I would say I'd go for the dinner scene, and I had like the signing papers scene down, but then I thought about it more, and I'm just like, why? Like, she's really gonna like die over this shit? Like, why is this?
Well, that's the beauty of this movie. It's the
Yeah.
moral quandary that we have. Like, would you sign the papers, Joe, or would you stand your moral ground and take the bullet?
I'd fucking sign the papers.
Sign
dude.
the
It's not, like,
papers.
it's
What
not
kind of
that big of a
person does
deal.
that make you?
Because it's like-
That's the problem. That's the
Okay, well, like
turmoil.
if
Part
you're
of the
not
system.
doing this, it's gonna be like the same situation or basically unchanged.
Yeah, and I'm dead.
Opposed to if you are doing it. So like
Right.
there's literally no difference in outcome.
But
So
it's
like,
your
why
moral.
fuck-
It's what your moral compass is telling you. So it's what you have to live with. So that's the whole thing that she's fighting with
I
is her
guess, like,
personal
I guess
struggle
what I
with this.
mean is
Yeah.
I'm gonna morally be fine because I know the outcome is the same, and I'm still
Yeah.
fine.
Well,
And
that's
I wasn't
logical.
like I wasn't
agree.
like spearheading this initiative either. So it's like, yeah, just get me the fuck out of here. I never want to see you
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
again. And like,
No, I agree. That's the logical way to think about it. But I'm saying the people out there, the softies
I
out there, who are like,
understand,
I'm gonna stand my
it's
moral
like,
high ground and take the
there's a
bullet. Okay,
difference
sure,
between,
dumbass.
Yeah,
like,
right.
this
Be a
moral high,
suicide.
like this
See you
like
in
the
this
morals
position.
in this and like the morals in Training Day, because like I feel like that's actual corruption. This like yeah, they're not following the fucking procedure, but like I
Oh,
don't
there's-
know. I
there's
guess
some
like there's
fucking-
really not really a lot of difference. Like people are getting fucked up regardless of what they do. Like I don't know. I guess it's just like a lot of.
but
fucking
should you
gray
like
area.
instigate it all? I guess is the question. You know, or like,
Yeah,
should you be a
sure.
part of like the action of it? I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean
Yeah,
that's
I
what
don't know. Me?
motivation for getting into it in
I
the
guess
first
just
place,
like
right?
like you're right. I know that you are supposed to like zero in that it is a moral quandary. I just feel like it's not that compelling of a moral quandary. That's
That's
like
fair.
my opinion on it.
No, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for Blunt, who isn't like initiating anything the whole story. You know, like it's
Yeah,
really
like,
like just get the
I don't
fuck
really
out.
have a lot of
Right,
backstory
right.
of like why she gives a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
like she does.
She's a
clearly.
good detective or
good.
whatever. Good
She
agent.
good at her job.
Yeah.
She exploded in the beginning.
But I kind of don't really see a lot of that. She doesn't do really any detective work other than the very beginning.
Well, she is the only one who's questioning them, asking them like, "Why are we doing this?" Or like, "Hey, you realize this is illegal?" Or like, "Hey, are we
Yeah.
following protocol?"
She
Or
has
"Hey,
talked a lot about how it's illegal.
yeah."
And
I would say
would've-
that there's a
nobody
layer
really-
to it that they probably didn't pick the other dude too, because he might have like fought harder on some. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so they
Yeah.
picked her to because like they
That's
knew
a
they
good
just
point.
like,
Yeah.
Bend
She
it.
just got shook up by this ordeal. She's not like fully thinking straight. She's, kind of new to this world in a way, and that she's got no, I don't know. She was like the perfect
Yes.
candidate for it, and obviously
Yeah.
that was the chess match that was happening in the glass room,
Right.
which is like you said, the news was happening in this one room, and it's like a good, I guess, juxtaposition there of like what's going on behind the scenes and what's presented to people in the world,
Mhm.
of like
and
what's
she's,
actually
like, right in the
happening.
middle.
Yeah. So, good stuff. Good
Shit,
stuff.
yeah. Prop hunt. You guys got any good props that jumped out to you? Easy one. Del Toro's watch instantly stood out. Maybe it's also because he's holding a gun, and I was just like, that's what a badass looks like—a gold watch and a
Yeah.
gun, I guess. But yeah, that was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, no, that's a good one. I think the fuck you flip flops are also pretty good.
Hell yeah.
A water jug.
My God.
Okay.
No water fountain, just the jug. All right. Yeah.
For what he's
Uh,
using it for, he don't need no fountain.
True.
Any other props, or should we get into nitpicks?
Yeah, we do nitpicks. I can't really. Yeah, I don't really have a prop.
Just a lot of guns, honestly. A lot of guns in this
I
one.
thought about. I was like, I
Lot
need a
of guns.
rifle. I guess. Fuck. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. That is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nitpicks. Kind of only one I really have is like I think this movie could be a little bit more, like I said before, like on a second by second basis, just kind of like
Dude, before like it
Especially
hit
in the beginning.
like where they actually went down into the tunnel, and dude, yeah, I totally checked out. Like,
Yeah.
they lost me, and then I got drawn back in, obviously, because like fucking
Ramps
tunnel
up.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it ramps up and it's good. But yeah, there was like a 20-minute slog there. I feel like I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean,
there.
Midway through.
yeah, I think the beginning could have been a little tighter, a little oil, kind of make that shit sing.
I have nitpicks, and to step on the star power category, this is a 5-star movie. Like after my watch through, I got nothing
Nice,
to
man.
complain about. Nothing but praise for this.
Cool. But
Yeah,
you say no nitpicks though. Oh,
I
okay.
got no nitpicks. Yeah, nothing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what
That's
I have been through.
That's the definition of 5 stars, then, right? You got
Yeah.
And I just like what solidified the 5 stars is obviously rewatchability for me is huge with my ratings, but like immediately after I watched it, I'm like, I'm gonna force Sarah to watch this. And like the next day I sat her down and said, watch and enjoy.
or else you
And
do
she
suicide.
did. So
Nice.
it was
You
good.
like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Nice. Strangely, I think
Yeah.
my mom watched this movie and told me she didn't like it. Like I have that
Really?
memory. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was
I
like, you know
actually
what?
watched it with my
That makes
mom
sense.
when we first watched it, and yeah, I don't know if she really loved it.
Yeah.
Can't remember. That was a long time ago. I just remember personally being like, that was kind of boring. But
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Same.
right.
Same.
I feel like
Yeah,
I
I
mean
don't
that's
think-
like Villeneuve's main gripes is like too dry, too kind of sterile, too
mhm.
boring.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see him a little bit as like, but I also kind of, especially Enemy and this one, he's diving into like themes in ways that
Yeah.
are deeper than people are, I think, giving him credit for too. Like,
Honestly, when we get to Blade Runner, but like he gives Blade Runner more life, even though it's a longer movie than the first one, and he gives it like something the first one didn't
Nuance.
have, which was like enjoyability, and you actually like cared for more than just maybe one character. You know,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just made it more interesting because yeah.
For
Anyway.
sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to that one.
Yeah, I don't have any nitpicks really that I can think of. I feel like I had one, but it's in the wind now. So gone.
Joe, you got any?
I feel like I don't know. We kind of already talked about mine, which I guess, yeah, I kind of just got a little bored. So I felt some was just kind of slow.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, I guess I personally don't find the like moral quandary to be that compelling.
Right.
That was.
But I
I mean,
also
that's a good point.
I liked this movie a lot. So I mean, I don't really have like that many nitpicks.
Yeah.
I think I rated this 4 stars. So I mean, like, I don't know. I thought it was good. I was pretty entertained, and I mean, it got
Yeah.
like 3 yeses.
Yeah, it's funny because like you said, the moral quandary isn't like super deep or super like that much to dig into, to be honest. But like it's good enough to where it's just like
It's interesting, definitely.
you start to question yourself, like, okay, maybe if I didn't sign the paper, am I a bad person then? You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
I guess that's
interesting.
true. I guess I'm just like, I don't know. I wouldn't fucking die over that shit. Like,
Hell
yeah,
no, dude.
because I feel like it's basically also he's gonna shoot her because like she saw him. So if she doesn't
Yeah.
sign the
Right.
papers, like he's gonna have to fucking kill her.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
He's
I
giving her the
just,
chance, I guess,
Yeah,
which is
I guess I just like definitely don't think that's
nice.
worth fucking dying over. I don't know.
Hell no. That's why you don't go into fucking government work to begin with, guys. That's the main lesson.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
And that's like what's great about Del Toro's character too, is like he never he's got his own moral compass and he sticks to it to a T. Like he protects her because he's like, you remind me of my daughter, but at the end of the day, he will fucking kill you if you don't like protect
If
him
you really
or
oppose him.
yeah. So super cool character
Yeah,
because
There-
he doesn't really
yeah.
sway either way. He's kind of just on his
know.
path.
Because yeah, unless like somebody's doing something that's really going to like fuck him up,
Mhm.
because like even him shooting her in the chest instead of like actually shooting her, like because he did that on purpose because he doesn't want to hurt her, but like obviously he wanted to stop her. So I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Very
I don't know.
methodical in what
Yeah.
what actions he takes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's like mad at her for pointing the gun at him because like he wanted to kill her because of that, you know, but he's like, damn it, I you know, you're not a bad person. I don't know. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And he's
dude,
just
when
like
she's-
light years but beyond like what she is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the moment where I was like, yeah, I don't think there's no way she can touch this guy is after she signs and is like pointing her gun at him off the balcony. It's like there's no way you get away with killing this guy, even if you really want to, or think it'll change things. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Damn, I thought she was gonna do it too.
I know,
And
right?
I'm like, why?
What is the point? You've signed the papers.
Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting too. Like, would you say that she should take her anger out on Del Toro, or would you take the anger out on Brolin? Because to me, I feel like Brolin's really the one that like
It's like
brought
the
her in
system,
and like
right?
kind of fucked her over in a
Yeah.
way. And Del Toro's just
Yeah.
like the main face of like
He's like the weapon that the
darkness.
CIA is using. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like,
he's
the
just
CIA
a
are the
tool.
bad guys.
Brolin's the guy
Like,
who's like pointing it, you know, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
right.
at least like the CIA are the people that she's mad at, not Del Toro. 'Cause, I mean, he's just like
Right.
gang related.
So I guess it's kind of interesting. Like she's lashing out at that guy when really it's not even like.
Yeah.
It's the situation.
That's the only
and
person she
whole-
can kind of lash out at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Clever Girl. What did you guys think this movie did well?
Well, this is gonna be the complete opposite of Joe's nitpick, but the gray area, man. For me, man, it's like the moral quandary of it, of like, and the idea that.
For it?
No, I'm not saying I would die for it. I'm saying it poses the question
Doesn't
well.
sound that great to me, huh?
Fair enough. Fair enough. You got me. You got me. No, that for me, and fuck. What was it? Oh, and the idea that like shit that you see on the news or the way stuff is posed for you to be digestible is definitely not the
Yeah.
case, right?
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
the
Interesting.
line where after the shootout on the border where they're like, this will make the front page of the news in El Paso. It's like, nah, no one's ever gonna fucking hear about
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
It's
no
like,
one's
yeah,
gonna-
you're right.
That's fucking
Yeah.
wild. Yep.
Yeah. So that's my Clever Girl.
Nice.
How it did that, yeah.
Mine, overhead shots. That was one, and then the other one, Villeneuve's movies. I feel like this one, and maybe the last few, I don't really remember, but he is very successful at starting his movies before he even rolls the studio credits. Like the tones that he sets, like the ambiance that he creates early. With this one, it's like drums building to like drama, And then it made me think of like Dune, where literally before you see any image, you hear like this fucking weird alien language, like it's like, holy, what the fuck movie are we watching? Like, that's
Yeah.
I feel like it's not like filmmakers do this all the time. It's not just him, like oh, he fucking solved it, but like I think if you're not utilizing all your space in a movie, you're not maybe pushing the full experience forward in a way. Like
Mm-hmm.
when the movie starts
Totally.
immediately, it's just great. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah, okay.
Any other clever girls?
I think they did a good job of putting us on the side of the bad people. I don't know, like getting us to agree with the bad guys, even though they aren't the bad guys. But like we're on board with them because every moment they're like, every time we second guess it, they're telling us on screen like, "Don't worry, there's a reason we're doing this. Just watch, just watch, just watch." So
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like fucked up.
They're
It's like
gaslighting the fuck out of their
yeah,
audience, man.
it's like yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's interesting. Okay, double feature. This one was kind of tough for me. I kind of just fell back on Villeneuve's movies and I went Incendies. I feel like you could watch that one and get the full emotional experience, and then you can watch Sicario and get the full like logistical experience of like.
you wouldn't put Sicario 2, Day of the Salado?
Nah.
No. All right.
I have that for like there is a sequel, but I think I watched it. I don't think it lived up. Did you watch it?
It's not that good, but it was fun, like shoot 'em up flick.
It's more Del Toro, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point. They saw like the attraction to him and Brolin's character, and they're like, let's do something with this. Let's make some money real quick.
Yeah.
Can't convince Blunt to come back. That wouldn't make any sense for a character.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I figured that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think it's mostly Del Toro in that one, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's mainly just action forward, like some Sicario shit. So.
Is it actually a sequel, or is it like a prequel?
No,
it's a sequel.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, I remember like nothing of that movie though. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw me and my mom went and saw it because we were like, "Oh, this looks like an action version of the first one," and we were both at the time down on the first one because we thought it was boring, and so we went and saw this one.
Yeah, like
a couple years go by, you're like, wait a minute.
If you, because you guys were talking about how Taylor Sheridan was the writer for this, but not the director. I feel like this would just be a shoot 'em up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying at the beginning. Taylor Sheridan's so meat and potatoes, but then again, he directed Wind River, right? So it's like, and that's
he has some restraint, at least early here, and so it's like, could it have been a little? I question it, But
because
to me,
Wind
like,
River is like chef's kiss there.
Yeah, but then you watch Sicario too, and some of the lines are great, and then some of them are like, yeah, that's Taylor Sheridan, and it's lucky that Villeneuve picked up like the editing mindset to like chisel that line, or else it'd probably be way too on the nose and kind of lame,
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of that going on in Sicario.
For my double feature, I actually put Training Day.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. Yeah.
I feel like it's basically very very similar themes, except I feel like Training Day is just more compelling because like Denzel's really just out for himself, and like clearly he's a bad guy doing bad shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Any other double features?
The only one I can think of on the spot is that movie Mule, Clint Eastwood.
Have you watched that one?
A long time. I don't remember shit from it, but yeah, I did watch it. And I can only think because it's like a drug, cartel-y fucking
That's
thing
fair.
going on. So that's all I got.
Watch the white man fantasy of Sicario, like
right.
The mule.
Yeah, the fucking boomer Clint Eastwood version.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Joe. I think Training Day is good. It wasn't my pick, but I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Could a TikToker watch it?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually
It'd be low,
write
bro.
this down beforehand because I don't know. Like, what would attract TikTokers to this, or what would they be like turned off from?
I think they would
Honestly,
say if I wanted to watch reality, I'd watch the news. That's the kind of vibe I got for this one. It's like too real, too fucking off-putting. Don't want to
Yeah.
think about it. Don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
This is boring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
and to be honest, yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. I feel like they would be bored.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
shit,
we're
I
at-
was when I first watched it like
Right.
years
Oh,
ago. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I said I
Woo!
was real away.
That's true. I gave it a 3 out of 10, but honestly, it's probably closer to like a 2. You know.
yeah, I'll go
Yeah,
2.7.
Nice.
Nice.
Sure.
yeah. I was thinking 1 or 2.
Dang, this has got to be one of the lowest ones then.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Political,
they're just lucky we didn't involve them with Terrence Malick movies because those would just been zeros
That's
straight
true.
up.
Oh my god, you're right.
True.
Yeah. What do you think? What was the most watchable TikTokable Malik movie?
Badlands.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So it's like Bonnie and Clyde. So like, that's the only thing where they could be like, oh, they're doing crime. This is
Yeah.
cool.
I feel like the New World.
Yeah.
Somebody could like, this is real life Pocahontas. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's you know like that one.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Live action. Yeah. Hmm.
But definitely not Thin Red Line.
No.
That's like the biggest one too. None of his like later shit, I'd say, honestly.
What's the one with Brad Pitt and the
Tree of Life.
Journey?
Oh, fucking Tree of Life.
Yeah, no
could-
way. I don't think they could.
You could pull the weird ass sequences out of that movie, and that's some TikTokable shit, I'd say.
Maybe.
Like
Yeah,
the weird
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
alien stuff.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, don't
Malik,
ask,
bro.
Joe.
There's some
Don't
cosmic
ask.
fucking shit going on. Yeah.
Damn, I'm glad I
Yep.
wasn't there for that.
It's wild.
Was it like alien abduction stuff?
No, it's
No,
nothing
no,
exciting. If
no.
we say alien, you're thinking this is fun. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
no,
It's
no.
not
No,
fun.
I
It might not
actually
be. It's
wasn't
like dinosaurs and shit.
Especially if it's alien abductions. I got a weird
No.
thing.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
you know,
like
we
a
don't need to
weird
get into it.
time travel. Okay.
Getting abducted. Okay, sequel, prequel, remake. There is a sequel. It doesn't live up. So what would we do now without the sequel? What would you say?
A
Obviously.
prequel. Let's see what
Prequel.
made Del Toro's character.
I want to
For
see
sure.
his daughter go into a vat of acid.
I want to see that so bad. No, that's. I mean, it's right
My
there.
God.
It's right there. I
Joe,
would
okay,
watch it.
let's just pause for a minute. Joe would sign the paper because fuck him. He would take the jug of water for torture purposes. He didn't say that, but we know that's why.
Yep.
And he wants to see the vat of acid. And his favorite scene was killing his entire family at dinner. Joe,
Yeah.
Fuck.
I have a fucking. I'm a therapist. If you need.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird that I said earlier in this episode that like I was into like the positive, hopeful stuff, but not.
Yeah.
into
And now you've
the-
turned.
yeah, what the fuck happened, Joe? Was
Yeah.
That's what this movie did to you.
that
Yeah.
herring at the beginning? I'm gonna throw these fuckers off.
Joe, do you work for the cartel? Are you outing yourself? Do we need to cut?
Holy shit. Okay, I was waffling between 3.5 and 4. I'll give it a 4, but that means that most of Villeneuve's movies for me are gonna be like 4-star movies. Honestly, like that's.
Mine are trending that way. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right, to be honest. I mean, I'm at 5 stars for this one, but like a lot of his later stuff, like honestly, I think Dune is a downgrade, but we'll get into that when we get there. But it's like up to this point, they're all pretty good, except obviously the first two. But like the last ones have been consistently just bangers. So
That's good.
Yeah.
I'd also
in
say
a
the
depressing
ending
sort
is
of way.
Yeah, and the ending's really solid for this movie too. Like the score is fucking killing
Mhm.
it. The soccer scene, like the meaning is there. It's a really good ending, so I think that kind of bumps it a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I waffled between because I had this at 4, and I waffled with bumping it up because I enjoyed it a lot more this time. So I might end on 4.5. And it might end up 5 down the road. You know, might
Give it
get there.
time.
Yeah.
Let it cook.
Rewatches. Yep.
Sign the fucking papers.
Whoa.
Or
that's
Ooh.
it.
his jug of water to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Well, Joe signing it. Wow.
Yeah, I give it 4 and 5.
Nice.
So with the Joe
three
rating,
questions, yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. What do you guys got? I got 3 yes.
yeah,
What
I'm
are
on
the
a
questions
3.
again?
3 out of 3.
Were you entertained? Would you recommend? And would you rewatch? And like personally, for the recommend, we talked about this last week. I think you guys just recommend stuff to anyone. I feel like for me, I usually recommend things based on what other people like. So I could recommend somebody something that's bad, and usually I
Mhm.
put like a yes for the recommend for me if I'm just gonna recommend it to anyone ever.
Yeah.
So like because I think that way about the recommending thing, I feel like I'm more loose with the recommending
I see.
for yes.
Yeah, that makes
You know
sense.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too. The other day I rewatched Nora, and
Oh yeah, I
as
saw
we were
that.
watching, as we were
How
watching
you
it,
rated it?
Sarah looked over at me and she's like, "You recommended this to your mom?" And I'm like, "Okay, maybe I do recommend just any movie to anybody because I like it and I want them to like it." So
Yeah.
Which like is
I don't
fine.
know.
I feel like that's like what most people do though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I feel like that's what pretty much everybody does. They
I
just
stopped doing
recommend shit
that.
to other
Yeah.
people that they like.
I was like,
I
I
will
can't.
do that.
What they like, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I watched too many movies, and I was like, I gotta target people, or else they won't like think I'm legit.
Right.
Like, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna go show 'em a movie I love, and they're gonna be like, that was the stupidest fucking movie ever.
Oh,
You know, like,
Street cred goes
yeah.
down the
yeah,
drain.
To be
exactly.
fair, I have burned a lot of bridges. Like my mom and her husband now are like, if Alex recommends it, it sucks. I'm notorious at Sarah's
Yeah.
house. If I like it, they immediately won't watch it because they're like, "Oh, Alex likes it." So it's like, I mean, I've fucked myself there.
Is that a
Yeah.
mark though? Is that a mark of you're just like a cinephile? Like you've watched so much that your taste has like you know what I
Maybe.
mean?
I don't
People
know
don't have good
because like
taste.
sometimes I got some bangers to suggest, like Rebel
Right.
Ridge. I recommended Rebel Ridge, and there and Sarah's dad was like, "Ooh, Alex recommends it. I think it's gonna be bad." But then they watched it, and guess what? They liked it, but they wouldn't watch it the day I recommended it. They waited like 3 days and
Mhm.
then watched it on their
Yeah.
own accord.
I don't
You know?
know. To be honest,
Had
I
to stew
feel
on
like
it.
over the course of like learning more about your taste, I feel like yeah, the more I've learned, the more questionable I think your recommendation would be.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like we kind of started off hot with like Tarantino shit. And then we
Right.
kind of like, you know, maybe got a little more questionable when I figured out you love Tom Cruise. Because he's got some bangers, yeah, but he's a questionable guy.
Tom Cruise has
Um,
those rewatchable movies. I'm waiting for you to get to your Risky Business and your Criterion watch through, Matt,
Oh, yeah.
because that movie fucks.
I
Okay,
haven't seen it. Yeah.
that's one of the ones I might bump to 5 stars. Just saying,
Whoa,
it's a
okay.
great fucking movie.
Wow, all right.
Tom Cruise rules in that movie. Anyway,
I think with my my recommendations, I think I should be more like transparent if I like the movie because it's bad. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes I'll like a movie knowing that it's not great, and I'll just be like, "Yo, you should watch this movie because I liked it," but
Yeah.
it's like not a great movie, you know, for the most part. And
I
so
kind
I think
of,
I usually just be like, "Yo, watch this movie because I liked it."
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of just the way I would view if I were to, like, would I recommend this movie? If I ask that question every time, it's like the amalgamation of my friends and family. Can I recommend it to this person, like them?
Mhm.
And that's, I don't know. That's how
Yeah.
I'd kind of view it. But a lot of movies I probably wouldn't recommend anymore, and I don't because people don't give a shit anymore, and they can't sit still for an hour to 2 hours.
but would you recommend a movie to us, Matt?
Well, yeah, because we like movies.
Based on our tastes? Because I feel like we all have pretty different tastes in movies.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like,
the
okay,
only
so like
movies I
Sicario.
won't like take in recommendation consideration would be Disney, Marvel, or animated
Yeah.
movies. That's like my line.
About the same.
Musicals,
Well,
it's iffy.
I wouldn't recommend
Good-
animated
good
shit
balance.
just because you know I'm into anime and shit. Occasionally, we were
Same.
talking about how like you know I had forgotten some fucking names of the My Hero characters, and I'm just like that's just a testament to how infrequently I watch anime nowadays. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I would never recommend Marvel shit or like Star Wars shit or anything Disney anymore ever.
Yeah.
I don't
no.
think because I just they've pissed
No.
me off too many times.
But who would you recommend Sicario to?
Sicario, I'd probably tell my dad about it. Maybe my brother.
Yeah, I thought about that. I think our dad
Okay.
would like
Or
it.
honestly, like if you guys hadn't watched it, I'd probably recommend it to one of you.
I mean, I told my mom to rewatch it and give it another chance. So I,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
after I rewatched it and loved it, I made
Right.
Sarah watch it and called my mom and said, "You need to check this out because I think this is like."
Okay, here's your problem: is you're overselling stuff, dude. Like you need to
I
like,
think that's it.
yeah, you can't
I
be
think
so
that's the
excited. It has
problem.
to be their idea, kind of. You know,
I
you have to like
know.
lead them to the water.
And like I got that too when I made Sarah watch Nora because I fucking love that movie. It's amazing, and every time I watch it now, because I've seen it I think 3 times now.
Damn.
Three times now. Yeah, and I was so excited to Sarah to watch it. And I'm like, oh yeah, and then we got done. She's like, it was fine, kind of porny. I'm like, okay. Did you like it?
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's too much buildup. That's why, like, I've over the years of recommending things and then people being like, yeah, it's like, oh, I can't be disappointed anymore. Like, I'm gonna stop recommending shit to you. I'm gonna recommend one movie I know you're gonna like. You know.
Right, and like one of my most loyal correspondents that I recommend movies to, and he's always like, "You got a great track record, never fail." Substance, I hype that shit up, and he just like, "No, that was not it." And I'm like,
You
"Yeah,
hyped that one up for me
so,
too, though, but that one actually lived up for me.
Yeah.
dude, I still got a little then." I get so excited
Little
about
cred.
things, I guess, and it's just like I want people to enjoy it as much as I do, and
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
I get that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
Who's
I'm
people?
glad,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
glad you enjoyed Strange Darling, just because that had it was just a weird fucking movie last year, but I feel like the structure of it really like made it pay off. I don't know. I feel
Definitely.
like that was like one of the movies that I just like remember watching in the theater because of just like the experience, because I was just like engaged, because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to fucking pay attention because this started halfway in between the story.
Yeah.
Apparently.
right.
The structure of that movie is quite amazing, especially like after you watch it, you're kind of like, that was confusing and kind of weird, but then you think about it and you're like, that was perfect. Yeah. Really good.
It's on top of it. That's for sure. Well, I mean, I think we're done with Sicario, so you kind of want to just shoot the shit for a bit.
Yeah, I do have a couple on the Anora bit. Immediately after I rewatched Anora, I went directly into Flight Risk. And boy, do we live in like wonderful times. Talk about a weird fucking movie. Yeah. I don't think it's like as bad as some people are saying, but I also think it's like it had the Malignant effect on me where I go into Malignant thinking this is going to be a horror movie, but it's super campy and turns out to be like hilarious, and like the action sequences are fucking awesome and I loved it. So I go into Flight Risk expecting a thriller, and it's a fucking comedy, and I think they're intentionally making it comedic. Like, unless I'm getting the tone completely wrong and these guys are just way off the mark, but like Topher Grace and I forget the woman's name who's the actress, but like they're definitely being comedic in this movie. It was just so weird.
I mean, Mel's he made a movie called The Beaver, where it's like a puppet of a beaver.
Yeah,
and he's like, he's weird.
That's,
he makes weird movies. He's about to make Jesus too. After
I know,
Flight
it's
Risk. What the fuck?
and I definitely felt that while watching this too. It's just like you could see Mel being like, "Mark, can you just fucking chill for a second? I gotta make the Passion too. Just keep it in the fucking movie. All right, let's move.
Shave the head, dude. Whatever.
It's literally called The Passion of the Christ 2, The Resurrection.
Yeah.
It's like fucking ridiculous.
Ow.
I'm sorry.
You would
it's
think
coming-
that
It's literally called The Passion of the Christ 2. I mean, like, what the fuck, guys? What are we doing here? Like,
yeah. You should have waited for 3,
Focusing
honestly,
on
to
it.
get the resurrection. Am I right? Ding-s. That's a Bible joke. Everybody will get that later. Hey, what else have you been watching?
I noticed you rated Nickel Boys like a 4. Did you like that?
Yeah, I did. I respected your rating. I thought about liking it, honestly, but I just was like, do I want to embrace negativity? Maybe not.
It's not that I didn't like it. It was just so distracting. Like, I get what he's going for. I get putting us in the shoes and making us experience what this person goes through, and then like the whole flip at the end where it's kind of like turns you on your head, and it's like the perspective, obviously. Yeah, and like the mystery of it all, but at the same time, the entire time, it's like every actor talking to the camera felt like that. that they were talking to a camera.
It
It just
I
felt so
saw it in
wooden and
theaters,
robotic.
and it was a difficult theater watch. I'll say
Yeah.
that much. Like it was pushing you away when you watched it, and in this way you're saying, it's like it's hard for your brain to comprehend a movie in that way because you've just never seen it
Right.
before. But I like the scene I go back to is at the end when they're running away, and it's like
Mhm.
cutting between, and I'm like, this is a prime example of why the movie works and why it also does not work. It's like,
Yeah.
because it's like showing the two perspectives, and obviously I don't want to spoil stuff, but like you need to see like why you're seeing one person, why you're seeing the other person, like,
Right.
and it's like, wow, that's impactful because we know like these are two men that we like follow, and like they're on different
Mhm.
paths, obviously. But then it's like I can't understand physically where I am because you keep like jumping feet
Yeah.
ahead and behind, and it's like, I don't know. It was weird. I thought I gave it 4 because it's like a very unique movie, and it's
Yeah.
emotional. It has something to say. Good performances. But I kind of agree like with everything you say. So.
Yeah. It was just tough because like it's a super like the story itself super interesting, super compelling, it's definitely got the heart. But like at the same time it's not really a groundbreaking story. I don't know if that's like insulting to say about the story, but
Wow, dude! It
have you
literally is a
seen
groundbreaking story. That's
Yes,
fucked up that you
dude.
would say that.
it's like it's
They
Sleepers. If you've
literally are
seen
digging up
Sleepers,
graves in that movie.
like with Kevin Bacon and I think Robert De Niro's in that one. It's like Sleepers is just the white version made in the 90s of this,
Yeah.
So,
It's like a story I never knew, and I was like, well, I probably should have known about
yeah,
that. But then it's like that's the story that it's fucked up. That happens all around the country, and it's like this is one
exactly.
story that you're watching. It's impactful, but also it's like, yeah, it's like
It's not fresh. It's not new, and it's like what makes it new is the perspective. It's just I think the perspective just kind of brings it down, the viewing experience down. So it balances itself out to be perfectly middle of the road for me. So
that's fair. Yeah,
not to be a negative Nelly,
No,
but
I expected more emotional
Fuck yeah.
resonance when I watched it, and I just couldn't get there. So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
get
I
it.
definitely would like. I don't know if I'd recommend this one to many people, but I think us sitting here, I think it's worth a watch. I mean, for
Definitely.
sure.
It's unique. I'm trying to just
But
like knock out all the Oscar ones too, so I have like
that's what I'm
a
trying to do.
prime
Yeah.
view.
Yeah.
I mean, Amelia Perez. Did we ever talk about that
I did
disaster?
watch
Or
that's on my list, because I have watched it at this point.
okay.
You watched it?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
Um,
sounds sad
Did you
now.
like it or?
I think I gave it 2 stars, maybe two and a half. It's like I didn't think it was terrible, but I really didn't think that it like.
Good.
Look, I will say from a musical standpoint, it like was an effective musical in that the song numbers did explain like plot and like the
But
story of
they weren't
like what's going
singing.
on.
They were just talking and
It was
with
just kind of
rhythm.
fucking weird. Like I don't really think that like it worked. Like it's like the only reason that this okay, well there's 2 reasons I guess. Um if you just started making random movies that are like a genre and then pair them with a musical, like we're gonna get out of control. So like
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's half of the reason why this movie is so like in the spotlight.
I
And then the other half I feel like is because of the trans message. But like
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like because really the only part that I just focus on is the part with the musical because like I feel like that really doesn't like I don't know. It's like an interesting concept, I guess. But like the only reason it's an interesting concept is because nobody like makes regular movies like with that are like a set genre into a musical. Like I
It's
mean you can, but like
yeah.
It's
I
a
don't know. If you
gimmick
fucking
though,
do this all the
usually.
time, it's gonna be like not entertaining. I don't know. Maybe it will draw a
Definitely.
crowd. I just like don't think it'll be
Yeah.
that good.
I
I would
just
imagine some genres just don't fit with a
Exactly.
musical.
So
It's
like
not
I
necessary.
thought that this was weird. Like
yeah.
that's what I don't know.
That
It
was
could have
my
just
main
been a regular
thing.
fucking story. Like
That
I don't
that was my main thing with it. The musical genre like perfectly emulates my main problem, and the whole movie's a contradiction. Like you have Zoe Saldana's character who wants to get away from working for corrupt people and taking rich people's money, but then she works for a corrupt person who, yeah, they change their gender to be more comfortable with themselves, but it doesn't undo everything they've done in the past. And she's still okay working with them. And the only reason the foundation exists that Amelia Perez has is built off the bodies that they killed. So it's just like,
Yeah.
are we supposed to root for these people? I mean, nobody in this movie is a good person. They're all scumbags. And on top of that, they leave their cartel ways behind, but then they kidnap her family and then like force them to live there. And then when they try to escape, she's like, "No, you don't, bitch." You know, it's fucking, it's
That's
madness.
bad, yeah.
It's madness.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nah,
Sorry.
Yeah, and I guess
Alright, well,
the
happy to
only way
leave
that
that one
would
off.
have worked is with the musical aspect because it like makes it lighter because it's like pretty fucked up. So it's just kind of like I don't know.
What could you do to yeah
Yeah.
to make it like
yeah.
I really
I-
couldn't tell you like what it's saying though either, because like with
That's
those
the thing.
complicated like, like, am I supposed to revere this person, Amelia, like because she's
Yeah.
doing because she's
Yeah.
herself? No, no, because
Right.
this
That's
is a fucking
was
terrible
like
person.
so bonkers about it. And like I think my review on Letterboxd was just wow or something, and then after that I went and I wrote 4 pages of just ranting about this movie. And I'm not gonna post that on Letterboxd, but like that was my rants. It's just basically what I just
Get it
said in a
out.
nutshell.
Yeah.
It's just the whole movie is chaos, and like we're supposed to be on this person's side for what? Because of the activism part of it? That just
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. That's not
fine.
compelling enough.
Yeah, I feel that. And when you have a song about penis
Hell
and
yeah.
vagina, and then you try to take it seriously after that, check yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Crazy. And the opening number is just like, we're in Mexico. Look, people stab each other in the streets here, and it's just like, so this is the tone. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The very basic understanding, I guess. And again,
It's rough.
I know Amelia Perez is like a woman now, but like she wants to get out from under working for corrupt men. But Manny, who hires her, is a corrupt man, right? Am I wrong? I don't know.
That's why it's so deep,
Confusing.
dude. You're never out from under the patriarchy.
It's so fucking. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it was painful to watch, but
I feel that. What do you guys think is going to win the Oscars? We should do a ballot. I feel like, right? For
Yeah.
I
next
kind of
week.
want
Cool.
to because like
Yeah.
I like actually have watched like
Same.
I gotta catch up.
I'm hoping Nora does, but I think Brutalist is gonna win Best Picture. I haven't seen it yet, but I think it will.
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
If it were up to me, I would definitely pick the brutal.
Really? I'd
Yeah,
pick the
yeah.
Substance personally. I think that's probably
Oh,
the
it's
best
good,
movie of the
actually.
year.
Banger.
I don't know. Yeah, it would be between the brutalist and the substance, but I still think for me, I would want the brutalist. But the substance.
I wouldn't be mad about it. Yeah.
I'm writing for a Nora. The only thing I really want is the guy who plays Igor. I want him to win. Like, give
Oh,
that
yeah.
man something. He's by far the best part of that movie, and there's so much to like in that movie. But
Yeah. Nice.
anyway, but yeah, we should
Well,
do a ballot. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Get one set up. I watched The Gorge, Apple TV Plus movie with
Oh, I
Miles
saw that.
Teller.
Mm.
Seeing that everywhere.
Pretty low.
Annihilation for Dummies. That was my review. It's like this, like you're watching and you're like, "What's in the gorge? What could it possibly be? You know, something weird shit." And then you get down there, and well, you're like immediately. I was like, "It's like some weird fungus or something," you know. And then you get down there, it's
Yeah.
like, "There's an ecosystem that's morphing everything it touches," and I'm like, "This is literally fucking Annihilation." Like, it was just dumb, dude.
With Alex Garland, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
right.
But there's like a
Wow.
story
That's,
between
like,
the gorge and
interesting. Is Alex Garland? He's not attached to that, right?
no, it's
'Cause
just
I
like they
feel
took that
like
idea.
I've been reading a lot about Apple specifically getting in like lawsuits about stealing
Like
content.
ripping IPs.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, I
AI,
feel like
spit
I-
this one
Because
out.
one was
Yeah.
with like M. Night Shyamalan,
Oh, really?
like where like
That's just because M. Night writes like he's fucking AI. Like
yeah,
this
I
is
looked at it.
his characters are like straight out of AI, but they're out of his brain. So
Like, one other recent
He's
one
a
too
robot.
that was like I don't
Final
know.
twist.
There was like some fucking lawsuit going on, and I guess it just like makes me think they're just kind of either doing stuff off books or basically just like
Harvesting
doing an
the
idea
idea.
that's basically like another idea but slightly twisted.
Yeah. Corporate's like, hey, this worked a couple years ago. Let's try and do something like this.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nah, this schlock, a lot of stolen shit there, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's funny.
One of them days though. 25 movie, one of the top of this year, I'd say so far. Comedy with Kiki Palmer and SZA. You expect not
Okay.
much, and it's fucking funny, and like you can tell the energy levels are like high. SZA and Kiki Palmer are like great together. I would watch it.
I could see that. I like Kiki Palmer. She's
Yeah.
dope.
She's good in it.
Okay. I
I
watched
won't-
all the Final Destination movies.
Hell yeah, boy.
nice.
I mean, like,
Grim.
obviously, they're fucking bad, but they were entertaining. And to
Yeah,
be honest, I
that's
had
the
never
point.
seen the fifth one before, but the fifth one was actually like kind of good. As in, like, I kind of liked it because like you kind of going down. Like, okay, the first one's okay. Second one's probably better than the first. And then you kind of just like hit diminishing returns with the third and the fourth one. Fourth one is by far the worst. But the
Yes.
fifth one, like, kind of brought it back to the same kind of shit that they had going on in the first two, but then also like links it to the first one that it happened like before the first one. And I had never
Yes,
like seen that
sir.
before. I liked that a lot actually because I'm like, I
It
want
worked.
all these. Like, it's cool.
It's
Yeah.
pretty seamless the way they do it too. Like
Yeah.
it looks like the same time frame of the first one. I don't know.
It was
It was
pretty
pretty
cool.
good.
Yeah.
For a Final Destination movie, I'm like, okay.
It was in, like,
Right.
I don't know, because I had just watched the four other ones like before it, and I saw
Mhm.
like his flight number on his ticket and shit. I'm just like, holy shit, this guy's gonna die. Like,
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I wonder, you think the new one's going to be good then? Like, it's been a
I don't
while.
know. Maybe.
I think it'll make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Get this new generation of kids.
Yeah.
What's the, like, what are they going to die with this time? You know, what's like the fucking iPad or like,
dude.
what's the.
I don't know.
I,
Education.
Dude,
I feel like
also-
those movie franchises just took the show Thousands of Ways to Die and were like, let's pick some of the good ones out of here.
Dude, literally
You
at
know?
the end of the fifth one, there's like a clip show of like all of the deaths in the entire franchise. So like you could just skip to the end of the fifth movie and just watch the clip show, and then you wouldn't even have to watch the movie.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
wild, dude.
Interesting.
That's a little
Yeah.
like sadistic, man. If
Yeah.
someone
It's
would
actually
do
kind of
that.
fucked up.
Rapid
Yeah.
fire.
what's your favorite
Yeah.
kill, Joe?
I don't know.
If
I
you
don't know.
don't
There
say
were a
the
lot of
pool
interesting
anus
ones in the
suck,
second one. Wait, what's that?
the pool anus suck. If you don't say that's your favorite
fuck
kill,
that, dude. No, no, I think like probably so in the second one, basically the first thing is like a car crash.
Mhm.
And then they
The
avoid the car
logs.
crash basically. But then there's like another car crash sequence later in the movie where they basically like spin out and there's like a fence and shit, like a barbed wire fence that they run
cuts
into.
that guy in half.
Mhm.
Oh fuck.
And
I
there's
think I
like some
remember that one.
poles that go through the back of the fucking
Dude.
back window.
Yeah.
And the driver gets pinned in the car because a fucking like post,
Yeah.
an electrical post goes in. So and there's like a spike that goes through the head, the headrest,
Yeah.
but it doesn't kill her.
Yeah.
But
It's
she
the
can't get out of the
airbag.
car. So
Yeah.
then, yeah, dude, the fucking firefighters are like
Fuck
hitting
yeah.
the jaws of life into it, and she's like so bitchy. She's just like, "Can you be any fucking louder with that?" And the
Yeah.
guy's like, "Here, let me try." And then he fucking hits it again, hits the airbag, and fucking like impales herself on the fucking spike to the headrest.
Yeah.
Fucking
And
awesome.
I'm just like, I totally didn't see it coming because it's like leading you to think that, like, because there's like fucking gas, like,
Yeah.
leaking through a fucking pipe 20 feet
Right.
away or something like that, and there's like a fire starting. So you don't even like think about that as like a thing. Like, it's gonna be this fire. So I feel like the second one overall was just the best at like doing a
Oh, yeah.
diversion, so you don't really know
Definitely.
what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second one, what the second one does really well is like Death's always got a backup plan, and like
Yeah.
if one's not
Just
gonna
working
work,
two planes. See which one will
It's
work
so
out.
fucking good, yeah.
That's
I
wild
don't
that you
know.
say that. That's like the best one because that's when I watched the second one as a kid. That's the one I'll never forget. Like because it's
Exactly.
so shockingly sudden, and and it's kind of like weirdly realistic in a way for the other ones. Like they're all kind of
Dude,
cartoony,
right?
you know? Like
Yeah, you're just like driving on the road and there's fucking logs and shit. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
And
That's
the
crazy.
second one is just like nonstop shit
Yeah.
is going on, and I
Yeah.
feel like you're just engaged the whole time. It has
Yeah.
like
Definitely.
they hit the
Lot of
formula
kills.
for like the pacing. I feel like
Yeah,
on
for
the second
sure.
season.
Nice.
Kind of excited for that
But
new
yeah.
one now. Now that we're talking about it, we'll see.
Hell yeah. They don't disappoint. I mean, they give you what you're looking for, and it's just fucking,
It's a fun
torture
premise
porn.
for like
Yeah.
a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's
Besides
great.
different.
that,
Yeah.
I did finish Arcane a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, I
Watched the
liked it
last,
a lot. Well, like I
right?
will say, I really liked the first like season and a half, and then the last half of the second season is good, but shit just like pops off and it's fucking
Yeah.
crazy, and I'm just like, what the fuck is even going on anymore?
Mhm.
Not that like it gets to be too much, but I guess I didn't really realize that like there was this storyline culminating to this point. I like always knew that it was leading somewhere, but I didn't think that that was like what the fuck is gonna happen. I guess
Right,
because
right.
it just like really fucking pops off.
The fucking
But it was good. I liked
you
it a
mean like the
lot.
timeline stuff? Like the way
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I kind of thought that they were gonna go in a different direction with that, and then, well, I mean, they kind of did go in the same. Yeah,
It's
it
like
was.
alternate, yeah,
Oh.
like
So
universe
like,
type shit.
with
Yeah.
how it ended, are they gonna do another season?
They
I think
have
that's
I've
it.
read I've read they're gonna do possibly movies and other shows that are different characters, different
It's
places,
like,
different
I guess,
stories.
Vi
Yeah.
and Caitlin,
Mhm.
that's her name,
Yeah.
right, Caitlin?
Yep.
They kind of flew away on a little blimp with like an
Yeah.
airship. I assume
Yeah.
they were just like going somewhere else, and it might pick up with them like somewhere else. Because like I
Yeah.
feel like the story in this location kind of ended, and you kind of like maxed out on characters. But I assume there's like a shit ton more,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
100
They do.
characters that you
There's
can
like
just
different
tie in.
realms and cities and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh
totally.
yeah.
It's exciting if they do it right. They don't milk it too hard.
Yeah. I'm glad you liked it though, because I mean the music and the way those characters like arcs go are,
Yeah,
for me, top notch. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just doesn't Vander just get like the shit end of the stick like constantly?
Yeah.
Like sacrifices himself, comes back to life as a monster, gets like mind controlled, and then dies at the end.
Yeah,
like
right. Just totally
it's,
gets
like,
fucked.
it's fucked up, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets so fucked.
You guys
Yeah.
watching Invincible?
I have been, yeah.
I started that up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm caught up. It's a slow start for the new season, but I'm
What do you
excited to see
think?
where it goes.
What do you think about Mark's trajectory? I feel like, cause like I don't know, these last 3 episodes that I watched of like the new stuff, I'm like, why is he getting so fucking mad
He's always worked up. He's
about
always
it?
fucking
Yeah,
at this level. He's come
He's
on,
always
Cecil.
yeah.
worked up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that's just how he always is nowadays.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm getting
kind of like
annoyed by
building
it.
up to him having like a showdown with Cecil, but like
Yeah. I think
I
Cecil's
feel
dead
like
by the end of the season. That's my guess.
I
Think
was
so?
thinking that too, but I also think that because I'm pretty sure like Invincible's not going to stop being the main character, and he's always going to be like a good guy. Don't really think that he's because he has like this thing about killing people,
Mhm.
and like how he
He's
could
still
flip out of
fucking
control or whatever. I don't really
yeah.
think that that's ever going to happen to like a certain extent. But I
No.
also think that like in Cecil's backstory that they showed at the I don't know the second or third episode, I can't remember which, but they showed it at the beginning of one of those two episodes, and how he basically had to make the exact same choice as Invincible, and he ended up like coming to the conclusion that like he did the exact same thing as the guy before him, but he was totally against it before, and I
Mhm.
think that Invincible might like come around to that, or
That's
Yeah,
what I
I
was
can see that.
extend
hoping.
it more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I was hoping is like Mark's arc is like he's gonna accept Cecil's view of like rehabbing people that have done wrong instead of
Yeah,
like drawing this
and I
hard line
think
all
that
the
that
time.
might get pulled through like through his brother,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
because
can see
his
that.
brother is
It's,
kind of like doing fucked up shit at this point, and I think that
Mhm.
he's gonna continue doing fucked up shit, and then
Yeah.
realize that
go
like
too far.
his brother's not like a bad guy. He just does bad things and can be like fixed,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Makes
could see
sense.
that for sure. he's got to be the mentor now, right? Like he's got to
Right.
try and
Gotta
mold.
be more mature, more on
Yeah.
top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That's like good animation in my opinion. Like well thought out, paced well. Yeah, smart.
Yeah, I was just curious because his whole like freak out, constant like moral fucking over some, I don't know. To me, the
Especially
small
the-
shit. Yeah, like small shit, like what Cecil's trying to do. I'm like, why are you getting so
Right.
worked up about that?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, like just chill.
I mean,
yeah,
you put a
you're
tracker
the
in
good
your
guys,
fucking
don't you
head.
think?
Pissed off all the time, and I'm just like, just
Yeah.
chill out, dude. Like I get it. Like,
Right.
You put a fucking like
Well, yeah, you're
buzzer in your
strong,
head
yeah.
though. That's like
Yeah,
That's
that's a little.
yeah.
That's true. True. It's a little much.
that's pretty fucked. Yeah.
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 It's a bit, but
Yeah.
no, I'm liking that. I'm watching
Yeah.
Mystic Quest or not Mystic Quest, wow. Mythic Quest.
Mythic Quest.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, I haven't. Yeah. Okay.
nice.
But it's
Up
just
on that.
decent. I think it's like hitting its stride, honestly, because the first
Yeah.
couple seasons are
Okay.
kind of rough to get through, I'd say, but now it's kind of settled into like sitcom-y writing more. It's like
Okay.
more
Okay.
standard, but it works, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I can see that. It felt like it was waffling between sitcom-y and like more drama stuff with like the company.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. I'm glad it's like more.
They've kind of like
more loose.
and the story, like in the first seasons, they split the company up and split the characters up and put them into,
Right.
and it's like that was not where you need to be because they finally brought them all back together again, and they're just like pushing forward
Okay.
now. Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
it's pretty good. I'm digging it.
I get back on that train. I'm gonna go pee real quick though. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I liked the first couple seasons, but I guess like I will probably watch this new season because I'll have to get Apple TV Plus at some point. I mean, because I'm gonna watch Severance.
Yeah, I'm watching that too.
probably when like the whole season is out, and then I'm
It's
just gonna
halfway
binge
through.
that shit, and then I'm just gonna binge whatever other Apple TV Plus shit that I.
Yeah, good call. Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm liking Severance. It kind of picked back up pretty well, like from where it stopped.
Yeah,
It's
I
good to
don't know.
see.
I've talked to like one of my friends about it, and I mean he's kind of really liking the new season so far. I think.
Yeah, it's weird, it's funny, it's smart.
Yeah.
It's my kind of show, sci-fi esque.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the White Lotus though. I haven't watched it yet.
Dude,
That's maybe
'cause
my most hyped show of the year, honestly.
I'm rewatching the first two seasons with Becca, and we just got done with the first season, and like we kind of realized because now I feel like I'm going deeper into characters, and there are like actually a lot of layers to the show. Because like I feel like as a normal person, you can just watch the show and still be entertained and like it, and there's also like a lot of deep shit you can get into that if you want, and
Yeah, it's like
I don't know. I
workers
feel
and
like
like
how deep
yeah.
you want to get into it, I guess, like into like the characters and like their back, like what makes them them and shit. But also just like, so the theme of the first season is greed, and the theme of the second season is like lust, basically, or like, yeah,
Infidelity, kind of.
infidelity, yeah. So like in the first season, the person that dies is like one of the people who's like not greedy. Or I mean, I guess he
Yeah.
would be greedy about the drugs,
And
but
the
it's
weird
like,
sex shit, right? Like
yeah, I don't know, but I guess like that's just like not really that. I don't know.
it's not like inhibiting,
It seems
exhibiting
like
greed.
all the people that are like not really that greedy get fucked over, and all the people who are greedy end up like getting kind of rewarded.
That's true. It's kind of
and
like that
then,
in the second season too.
Exactly, because like fucking Jennifer Coolidge, her character's like not
Actually
into
decent.
infidelity. Like she likes her husband,
Mhm.
and she's the one who ends up dying. But everybody else is like fucking everybody, and
Yeah.
they all end up like fine.
The
or
son
better
who
off.
like pays 50,000 to like the hooker.
So like
Yeah, he's
I'm
fine.
kind of gonna like watch this new season and keep that in mind with like what the overall theme is and who's like not giving into like those things, and if they're gonna be the person who fucking dies. Like
I hope not. Yeah. It's
I don't know. Or
exciting
at least I'm
though
gonna
with
keep
like
an
the
eye on
setting.
that, like watching.
Yeah, I will too now. But I like the setting. I like the cast, so I'm pretty excited to get onto that train.
Hell yeah.
What show is it?
The White Lotus.
The White Lotus.
What? Notice.
Good. Nice.
Very
I try to
functional.
recommend The White Lotus
Yeah.
to a lot of people, and nobody watches it. It's kind of sad.
Oh,
Wow.
dude.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel like
most
a lot of people would like
like
it.
I feel
Like
like a lot,
anybody
like a
could.
lot of people would like that.
I tell them,
Yeah.
like, just turn it on, dude. You're gonna like it.
You would think a lot of people would like a lot of movies, but believe me, they hate.
Yeah.
I'm just
Haters,
kidding. I
man.
just have
Fucking
bad taste.
haters.
So I watched this show. Becca recommended it to me, and she like loves true crime shit, and I'm not really into true crime shit. I feel like we talked about it a couple weeks ago,
I like true crime
but
shit.
how it's kind of just like not really a good thing to highlight all these fucking serial killers and shit. But anyway,
Agreed.
I watched this show called The Jinx. I only watched the first season, and then I watched like one episode of the second season. Dude, I would actually recommend the first season to all of you.
Oh yeah.
It starts off slow, I know, and there's only 6 episodes, but like by the end of episode 4, like
You're hitting
like
play on the next one.
like,
Like,
I don't know, it's like the first couple episodes, you're just like getting explained like what's going on pretty much, but then it kind of like turns into something else. And really, you only want to watch the first episode of the second season because you want to find out what actually fucking like what
outcome is or
impact
whatever.
the documentary of the first season had on like real world events.
Oh.
Because like I don't know, that's really why you want to watch the second season. But like the second season kind of like is not like all the shit has kind of already happened, so you kind of just want to
Right.
watch the first episode to like figure out what the fuck went down. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
After that, I kind of gave up because like I don't even know if it's the same people. It's definitely not the same quality.
Mhm.
But dude, you should watch the first season because it's actually
will.
like pretty
Yeah,
On
what's
HBO, right?
HBO?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll give it a
And
go.
if you fucking hate it, then like sorry. But I think that you'll be into it.
I think I
I
probably
personally
will.
like true crime kind of stuff and weird documentaries like that.
Yeah.
So that sounds up my alley. But I watched one recently called Dancing with the Devil on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Is that the one with all the different fucking like I don't know? There's like different face things, and it makes up a person's face.
I don't think so.
I've
It
just
doesn't ring
seen
a
one
bell.
that's recommended to me on HBO like all the time now.
Oh, okay. No. This is Netflix, and it's about.
Oh, fuck that.
No, you're good. You're good.
Cult
But it's about like
Tuesday.
this. Yeah, it's about a cult called 7M, which is like this talent management group in California that recruited like a bunch of dancers, and also like indoctrinated them into the religion at the same time as managing their like careers. And so like the people, some of them have like gotten out and are talking about it in the documentary, and then some of them are still in. And you talk to like some of the families of the people who are still in the cult, and you could go onto Instagram and like find the people who are still in it, like
Wait, so like,
create content. And
and
there's
they're
like a
actually
huge
getting,
lawsuit
like managed by the cult, basically.
by the cult leader. Yeah, they're like managing their careers.
Wow, that like
Yeah.
reminds me of like what that cult does in The Boys.
The
Where
Voice.
they basically have that like fucking weird religious cult people, like they take in the deep and they basically like make him look
Yeah.
better.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
do
okay.
PR for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. It's pretty much exactly like that. Yeah. Yeah, because he like makes them crazy famous, and like they like blew up. They like have millions of followers on Instagram, and but like the ones I've gotten out are like, yeah, he stole like 90% of my profit, my money, and shit like that. And
You're in a cult. Like,
yeah, yeah, it's wild, dude. You don't
Yeah.
know it when you're in it. You can't see it when you're in it, but yeah,
I mean,
it was interesting.
If you got eyeballs, you can see it.
Yeah. Where are you living? Is it on a compound with a bunch of other women? Like,
But you're not allowed to touch them, but the leader is.
Yeah, right.
Then
Yeah.
you're in a cult.
weird rules
Starts
everywhere.
with massages. Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's wild though. I found it. I binged it because I was like, this is and it's ongoing. The lawsuits are like happening.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy.
Or like supposed to go to trial this year and stuff. And I'm like, I might just follow this case in real life. to
I'm
see what
fucking
happens.
hooked.
Yeah, this is cool.
I want to
On
know.
the topic of series, I don't know if you guys have watched the Jack Reacher series, but that's pretty good, and the new season's coming out in February.
I gotta try it. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I actually
heard people like it.
good things.
The first season was actually really, really good. Like we sat down and just binged it in a day, and then the second season was pretty good. They kind of got in their own ass about it, but I'm hoping the third season comes back.
What do you think of that movie? Because didn't they?
I love the movie.
Damn the
I
boy.
love the first movie. So it's just Jack Reacher's like this giant muscular man, and the guy who plays Reacher in the series is like
a huge fucking. It's
right.
Right, yeah.
Compared to Tom Cruise, who is
Yeah.
5'7", perfect height, like perfect specimen. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Jack Reacher, you know. But I do like the first Jack Reacher movie. I look fondly on it, and like after watching the first season, immediately we watched the Reacher movie with Tom Cruise, and it still rips. So
Nice.
Because like I think if I remember right, I mean I don't know about the actual stunts in there, but like I'm pretty sure like he had to like learn how to drive all of the stunts and stuff, right? Like because he was actually like driving or some shit for a lot of the stuff. I think so.
Yeah, he always drives. Stunt drivers envy him.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. Which I guess is kind of cool because like he's not just like one note for stunts, you know?
No, absolutely not.
Like that's
Planes,
cool.
trains.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's pretty badass.
Hell yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, the series is really, I don't know, it's fun. The first season's like it's a perfect balance between like meathead fun and like actual smart writing. So
Okay, I like that.
All right, I can be down with that. I watched a video on the guy from the show. I watched a video on his like workout regimen so that he could get fucking ripped for
Did
it.
he show you how he goes into the back room and injects the roids, or no? He didn't have that.
yeah, I was
part?
gonna say, is there like, does he include the HTC injections or?
I don't know if that
He leaves that
would
bit
be
out.
demonetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be in some gray area. But it's funny because he's like his whole workout is just all upper body, and then you look at his legs and they're like fucking toothpicks. And it's
Chicken
I
legs.
feel like, would you get away with it if you just like had like a shot of, I mean, probably not, but if you just like had a shot of like skin and then a needle going into the skin and then just like
That's
a
awesome.
different shot of like other shit going on.
Get him working out after that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do it like Fight Club style, where he just puts in like a one frame of a sex scene in the
Right. Yeah,
movies.
right.
Just
Yeah.
Needle. Just so you know,
Yeah,
he
but,
comes
like,
up and he's
just
instantly
conscious
juiced.
Yeah. Fucking expands his hulks. Yeah.
Now I'm ready.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh boy, what else?
I've watched Gran Turismo like last week, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like entertaining, but it's super tropey. I thought, where it's just
It
like,
is.
Yeah. No,
Orlando
guy.
Bloom, right?
Brad Pitt's just doing a lot of racing shit these days, so I
Yeah,
just
he's an F1 that's about to come out this year.
Right.
I just
It's got David Harbour in it, and
yeah.
and Orlando Bloom, yeah, and
It hits all the notes of like
Yeah.
what that movie is.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like you're waiting for the next like moment of self-doubt from the driver just to get another inspirational speech from David Harbour. Like it's just like follows that
Yeah.
formula, you know, like
I see.
Run it back. Yep.
yeah. Next race. Yeah. So I wouldn't recommend it, but I watched it.
Oh yeah, I watched Baby Girl.
Ooh.
Honestly, I expected more from this movie. It was so softcore. Like
Okay.
Hell yeah.
the only hardcore thing that happened was like he made her like get on all fours like a dog and drink milk out of a bowl, and I'm like, that's all you got? If that makes her a freak, take me in, boys. I don't know. I just like this is stupid.
Yeah.
But
I heard good things about it too. That's right. Yeah.
it's. I mean, it's fine. I think the performances are pretty good. I think it's a good setup in the beginning. Like it bookends very, very nicely. But like, I don't know. It was just not. It didn't commit to the bid enough for me. But
I see. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was this movie was out in theaters. We were between that and another one, and I was like, let's go see the other one because I don't want to watch that in theaters.
I actually thought the exact same thing. Yeah.
I wanted it to be more horny, and it was not horny. Like sometimes
That's
I'm just
surprising.
like,
You'd think it would be.
give me some more sex stuff. Like you get hyped up from Nicole Kidman saying like I orgasmed so many times while doing this movie. I'm like, did you? That's all it took? Is Keith Urban not like doing anything to you? Like,
That's
what's
a
my
part
boy
of the
doing? Did he
PR
just-
for this film. That's
You
fucking
didn't read that
nuts.
article?
Hell no.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I read an
That's
article
actually
about her
like-
orgasming or something.
There's a lot of nuts
Yeah,
happening.
that's kind of wild. What's
But
the
I mean,
rating?
That's
Just
crazy.
R?
Yeah,
Where
it's
was
just
the,
R, and there's like no nudity. You see her ass, and
where's
she
the
like beats
intimacy
off one time.
coordinator on the set? She's freaking
Well,
jerking
I
off
think
on
that's
set.
actually, well,
It's fucked up.
Just like
yeah, I don't know. It was just bad. I just wanted more like, give me some more sex
Yeah.
in a
Something
sex
juicy.
movie.
Yeah, I could see
I
that.
don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I finished
yeah,
a mini dive on Peter Weir's films. If you guys are interested,
I
Who's
don't
that?
know who that is. Yeah.
older guy. He's
Dead Poet
retired
Society?
now. Dead Poet Society.
Oh, okay.
Top movie in my opinion. Truman Show.
Oh, that's good.
Gotcha.
And Master and Commander. We did that one. He's did that
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was okay.
So I went through all his stuff, which is kind of an interesting dive. A lot of Harrison Ford movies. Fearless, low key. Didn't expect this one at all. Maybe the best, maybe the second best compared to Truman Show.
Which one is? You say Fearless?
Fearless. It's got Jeff Bridges before he does Big Lebowski, and he's still got that kind of like energy of the '90s. And he's in a
Yeah.
plane crash, and he basically just like his personality completely shifts, and he has like no fear, and he's just like a completely different person.
Huh.
So much to do with Lost. It's crazy, dude. You watch the movie, you're like, holy fuck, Damon Lindelof, watch this movie. Like, yeah, it's fucking
He's a Peter
nuts.
Weir head.
He likes Weir.
Yeah.
Very
I just watched that
emotional.
movie and not
Watch it, bro.
Lost.
Well, I would
Maybe
watch
I'll
Lost
watch
too,
that
but
movie and then I'll watch Dexter.
there you go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
then watch Lost. Then you get a full
Okay.
experience.
Okay.
Sure.
Or you just shelve Lost for some other time and come back to it. Maybe have your kids watch it someday,
Oh,
and you
God.
just skip it all together.
No. You don't.
Okay.
You don't want to miss out on
Okay.
that. No. You want to experience Lost in your
You're all
life.
dead the whole
I'll say
time,
that.
Yeah,
anyway,
you
right?
gotta be on the
Like,
island. Dude. Gotta be
they
on
never
the
got off
island.
the island.
I still haven't watched the last 4 episodes of Lost, and it's been like 5 years.
You're missing out, man.
It's
You
four
didn't see
more,
the
bro.
end.
What?
You didn't see the end. It's literally called
I
the
just-
end.
I can't. I can't do it.
You want to see what purgatory looks like?
No, I am in it. I'm in it.
It's
I
all
know
about the
it.
journey, though, man. That's what you like. It's about who you're with.
Yeah.
For the journey.
The journey, not the destination.
But yeah, I mean, Peter Weir's films. I
Well-
check them out. They're pretty solid overall, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I also watched Blue Velvet, and I planned on watching Twin
Inch.
Peaks. I just need to figure out where
Bro,
to watch.
if you're looking for a slog, my guy, like
Yeah,
I watch
I know.
TV shows, bro. Twin Peaks is maybe the hardest show I've ever watched in my life, and that's awesome. It's fucking slow, bro. I mean,
Is-
like,
it's fine.
Is the movie
You know
good
what the
though?
other movie on my list was
like the
that I
movie.
watched? Was Presents. Pretty fucking slow. I talked
Yeah.
about this last week. I was actually into it. I don't really. Everybody else around me bored as fuck. I could tell they fucking did not like it. I was in it for some reason.
well, Joe,
Um,
watch Twin Peaks. Come back to me. See if you're into it by the end of the
Let's
second.
see how
I like
slow
Blue
you could
Velvet, to be
go.
honest. I know it's fucking weird,
Blue Velvet,
but
yeah.
like, and it was pretty fucked up. But like, I don't know.
So-
I mean, I kind of like his vibe.
You
I
inspired-
actually, I do like his tone, his vibe as well. I didn't mind our dive that much.
Yeah.
But
You mentioned Criterion, Matt, and it inspired me to like look up and see like what are all the recommended Criterion movies.
It's a lot.
And Twin Peaks is mentioned 3 out of the 5 sources I
Yeah.
looked at. It's mentioned. So
Twin stuff in
and, like this
general
is 100 movie
Alright.
lists and every list, and it's like made it. So
I liked it. I wouldn't. You probably won't consider it like 100 best movies of all time.
Yeah.
I would say, but it's good. I think people just really elevate Lynch stuff on this level of Because like,
Yeah, Eraserhead is also on
Artiste,
these
bro.
lists like 3 times as well. And I've seen Eraserhead, and I can confirm that it is not for me.
That movie is fucking weird.
yeah, it's weird. That's probably one
I
of
didn't know where you
my
were going with
favorites,
that.
honestly.
Or with
but-
that.
yeah.
It's weird
I don't
as
know.
shit.
I wonder if it's they claim is all warranted, but I like most of the movies that he makes.
So
I didn't
on
mind
the
it.
Criterion thing, how did you make your list, Matt?
So I pulled somebody's Criterion list that they already had, which is apparently, hopefully, the full collection, and then I just picked the 100 that I hadn't seen yet and that I was most interested in watching. And I was like, I tried to like round out the 100 in a way of like, I haven't had this type of movie, I hadn't had this, so I was like,
See,
ones I really want to watch,
that's
and
what
good ones.
that's what I was trying to do. And when you go on the Criterion Channel website, there's like 3,000 movies.
The website is absolute ass.
Jeez.
I was like, I can't use
And
that. I just want to
yeah.
letterbox and find the list. Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. And like I went to 5 different sources, and like I'm trying to narrow it down, and I've narrowed it down to 72. Yeah, no, 71 films that are like mentioned 2 to 5 times. So like
Okay.
on lists of ones that you have to watch. And honestly, I've heard of very little of these.
Yeah.
So I'm a
some of
little
them
nervous to like watch some of them.
for sure. Some of them are old. Some of them are gonna be hard to access, but it's kind of
Yeah,
exciting. I already watched Singing in the Rain, and I already watched Moonstruck.
Mhm.
Fantastic films. So like, it's nice to kind of like round out the edges that I haven't watched yet.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Singing
I
in the
think I made
Rain,
a
man.
list. I made a list of movies recommended by Martin Scorsese, or it's like his Criterion collection, but I haven't touched it, so I gotta get that.
That's why I was like, you know what? This year, let's do 100 Criterion. Let's fucking knock them out. 30.
Good goal. Good goal.
How long am I gonna wait?
Wow.
But I got
Forever.
like Seven Samurai, All About Eve. Those are some of the biggest
Yeah.
ones. Bicycle Thieves.
Mm.
Yeah. This one called Jean Delman
Jean
23
Dielman.
Qua.
I
Yeah.
have that one too. Yeah.
That's mentioned on every list. The 400 Blows is every list.
I have that one. Yeah. 8.5. Great Escape.
Yeah.
Or
Cleo from 5 to
Harakiri.
7.
And then I have some like The Producers. I haven't ever watched that. Mel Brooks's movie. That's on Criterion list. I'm like, fuck, man, let's watch that one then.
Yeah.
It's a Mad Mad World. I really want to watch that one. And then I have like Solo, just because like, I don't know. You might like this movie if you're into some fucking dark, weird, twisted shit. Apparently, it's just like a 1975 movie about like kind of like real life torture, psychological torture and shit. And it's
What's that one
Hell
called?
yeah.
documented. And Salo or 120 Days of Sodom, whichever you prefer. That's the title.
Oh, I have heard of this. Yes. Okay. You got
Oh
it.
yeah, that sounds fun. I can't wait for that one. All That Jazz, Risky Business, The Elephant Man,
Fuck
for
yeah.
Lynch.
You see, when I was looking
Tootsie.
at your list and this list that I have, your list sounds fun. My list
Yeah.
sounds like it'll be fucking brutal. Some of these.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick the ones that I actually want to watch, not the ones.
Yeah,
That people
yeah.
tell me. Yeah, 100%.
It's probably the way to go, to be honest.
But I incorporated as like come and see, like these are the movies that
Yeah.
people won't shut the fuck up about too. So it's like
Right.
I'll watch it.
Trying to find a happy medium there, but
Yep.
yeah.
Well, if anyone wants to join me on those watches, let me know, and we can watch them at the same time if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested because I mean, I was just curious what makes a Criterion movie. So like, ever since you mentioned Criterion, I've been like itching to see what makes it. It's just like restoration of
It's
classic
just a
films
collection.
and
Yeah,
like
it's a company that is like actually trying to preserve
Yeah.
stuff. So and
which is
like,
cool.
they focus
Yeah.
on quality, but they also focus on like niche stuff too. So it's hard to
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
suss out which one. Yeah. Any other final thoughts or movies before we sign off? I gotta make a fucking PB&J sandwich or something, man.
So I
Hell yeah.
started listening to The Gunslinger on audiobook today. I got like 2 hours in. It was kind of funny because like the narration reminds me. It's so weird. It reminds me of like the Purge episode of Rick and Morty, there's like a situation where he fucking like goes to a person's house and he fucking has to like
Won't
read
stop
this dude's
reading it.
script. And it's like how that guy talks is like every random character that this narrator plays in the fucking audiobook. So like every time he plays some random guy, I'm just like, wow, I can't get that voice out of my head. But also
go.
like the whole fucking world of like the dark, like 50% of the world in the Dark Tower books, I feel like is that same world, like that from that episode of Rick and Morty, where it just feels like some kind of fucking post-apocalyptic hellscape that's
Yeah.
like you don't know if it's fucking like I don't know. There's like fucking kings and queens, and it's like a fucking monarchy system or fucking feudalism or some shit, or if
Yeah.
it's like after technology or before, or like, I don't know. You just don't
Yeah.
know where the fuck
Yeah.
they're at.
Hmm.
But then
Steampunk.
also like, I feel like just like the magnitude of the events set in more for me because like than it did like the first time I read the books. And I don't really know why. I think it's just like a lot of shit that they talk about in this book already. It's just like kind of talking about what's gonna happen in the future, like what's gonna happen in the next couple books, kind of.
Oh yeah, that's what like I'm making
Which
my
I
friends
totally
read
didn't
it.
catch before.
Yeah,
Like the whole like
it's
Antichrist thing and the fucking sun
mhm,
and shit. But then there's also just like it's like fucking biblical basically because it. I mean, like
yeah,
I feel like I fully realized what like the Man in Black is like doing, and he's basically just like I wouldn't call him the Antichrist. I would call a different character that, but like he's basically like the archangel of like the
yeah.
devil.
Well, that's
Except
the
the
thing, and
devil is like the Red King, but like it's
yeah,
basically the fucking devil. Like it's like
that's
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I was telling my friends
Stephen
because
King.
for our Hot Boy Book Club, as we call it, I'm making them. I wanted them to read it with me because I've been wanting to reread them. So, and their takeaway so far of book one was like, this just seems like setup, and it is setup. And he
yeah.
was like, it also Stephen King seems super familiar with the Bible because it's super biblical. Like, yes, he is very familiar with that stuff. But like the Man in Black is just the pawn for the Crimson King, and then obviously the Antichrist is born later on in the series, and
I
like
think they did say the Red King already, but like I feel like they just don't even make it say his fucking name for like
until
a
like the
long
last
time.
book.
The
Yeah,
only like the Man in Black is like the main antagonist for like most of the fucking
right.
story. Then you find out
Yeah,
he's like kind of not really even like he's
Face.
bad, but
it's
like
like
he's not really like
book four is just like
Bad.
bye. We have another.
right. It's like, and I feel like that's why just now I'm getting like the magnitude of in like the scope of like what really was is going on in this
Yeah.
story because like it's like and I looked up other books. Like I looked up, Stephen King wrote Salem's Lot in
Hmm.
1975. He wrote The Stand in 1978, and then he wrote The Gunslinger in 1982. And it's like all three of those books have characters that are in the Dark Tower, and it's
Yeah.
like The Stand is a perfect example of like what the Man in Black is doing, and he's basically just like sowing chaos in these fucking groups of
Yeah.
civilization, like after post-apocalyptic events or otherwise,
Hmm.
to turn people either to the Red King or just sow discord, and they're
Yeah.
basically like doing the Red King's bidding anyway. So it's
That's
like
Hmm.
I
that's
don't
what I
know,
love
kind of
about this
fucking
series
crazy.
and like King's multiverse because like he was the multiverse before it was fucking cool to have
Dude,
a
that's like,
multiverse.
yeah, I had that realization today. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude! Like,
It's
because he had this shit planned
yeah.
literally in the '70s. Like,
Yeah.
and
It's
and
amazing.
reading this book, just like he did have a lot of the story planned out, like way ahead of the time, and it just
Hmm.
took him so fucking long to finish the books because he almost like didn't.
Yeah. Well, my understanding is he started like
It's
the
not
idea of the
doing.
gunslinger started when he was like 15 years old because he read The
Gotcha.
Hobbit,
Wow.
and like from that is
I can
like
see it.
yeah, because the
It's
gunslinger is
okay.
Fantasy
like
world.
kind of his shortest, like messiest one of the series, but it's great setup for what his vision is going to be and what it's going to play
Yeah,
out to be.
yeah,
But great fucking series.
man. And now I'm just like thinking, because like reading the beginning of this book was like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, I
Hell
gotta get
yeah.
into some Stephen King, man. I haven't read any of his stuff.
I'm reading the second book now, and it's one of my favorite books of like all time. The second book's
Yeah, I
amazing.
feel like the next like 5 books on hold. Did you went back and read The Wind Through the Keyhole, right? Not that it really matters, because like to
Yeah.
be honest, Wizard and Glass is my least favorite of the books. Wind Through the Keyhole is basically Wizard and Glass, but it's a little bit better. I mean, I remember that it's like a story in a story, but I don't even
Yeah.
really remember like what it's about. I just know like it's just like not really anything to do with the main events going on, because they're just like taking some downtime
Yeah,
while they're traveling to tell a fucking story, like, which is
I
kind of
think
dumb.
I'm with you on that one. The Wizard. Yeah, that's
Wizard
my
and
least
Glass.
favorite. Yeah, that's my least favorite of the books. But yeah, I feel you. I think Song of Susanna
But
is
after
slept
that, I
on.
mean, it really
There's
like fucking yes. Well, I guess it's Wolves of the Cow after that, and then Songs of Susanna, right?
yeah,
Because I
that
feel
one's
like,
really slept on in my
dude,
opinion.
like, because Wolves of the Cow is like when shit starts going down, and then after that, it's just like nonstop shit until the end. Like,
Yep, it's
it's
amazing.
just like that's when shit just starts really popping off. Because I
Yeah.
feel like the Wastelands was like that, and it would have been a direct lead in into Wolves of the Kala, but then they just like took a break.
Oh, there's a huge like screeching halt in Wolves of the Kala.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just I don't know. It's just like what the
I agree.
fuck? Like,
It's good though. Like don't let this just deter you two gentlemen. Please read the series because
I'll probably
I
get
have
to
it's
the
it.
credits
fantastic.
on Audible, so maybe
yeah, dude, just get the
just
first
add
3 books,
those.
and then I
Yeah.
literally put like the next like 5 books on hold because like they were all like I don't know. It said a couple weeks wait, and I'm just like I don't know, whatever. I'll just get a couple of them, and then if I do have them on hold, I'll just binge all of them.
Yeah.
Because they're just on audiobook, so like I'll
Yeah.
just fucking
Yeah.
fuck through them. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I
they're
haven't
really good.
listened to an audiobook in a while, but
In the meantime, while you're waiting for the other ones, I'm telling you, check out Stoner. I think that's got, and it's a short book. I
Yeah.
think if you guys also want to read it, I think it's got good conversation. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, I added that. I have a Goodreads app, which is just like a reading list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that on there.
it's good.
See if it's on there. It's probably on
I
Audible.
also wrote down they should just get Clint Eastwood's son to be rolling.
Honestly, I could see it.
I don't know, because I just feel like I don't know the natural, like the dude you wanted to do this would have been Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
but
for
like
sure.
kind of as an old guy, like in like the 70s or 80s, and then maybe have like Harrison Ford as like Eddie.
That's funny. Yeah,
I
that
don't
would
know.
work.
I feel like
Make
that's what
Harrison
I
Ford
felt
money
like
back in the
Solo
day.
as Eddie. I don't know why. But, like, it's such a weird fucking combination, but like
Eddie's my favorite character of the whole. Yeah, he's amazing. Great story. Anyway, I have to pee. But if you ever just
Yeah.
want to like throw out thoughts about the Dark Tower, Joe, I'm all ears
Hell
because
Yes.
I have no one else to talk to about.
yeah, now
for
that
now.
I'm reading them, I bet I'll have some shit to talk about. So
Cool.
Nice.
Right on.
Yeah, if you guys want to do a book, I mean, we can do Stephen King. We can do whatever. Just like pick a book, and if we want to start with the Stoner, I'd be down with that too. Just do like a one-off.
oh yeah,
Good.
You know,
Now we just got to plan
Short
when
and
we need
sweet,
it done
too.
by.
That's how we do it. We pick a book every month, and we usually just give us a month in my book club that I'm in now. Each of us picks a book every month, and anyway,
yeah, let's do that. I like that idea. You got time to read or listen to it, and come back talk about it.
yeah.
Cool. Cool beans.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
It's been real.
Yeah.
Peace
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.